Listen to me, my child. If this message found you, then this is not random, and you cannot afford to treat it lightly. What has been blocking you is already being exposed, and before another moment slips through your hands, I need you to stay with me until the very end, because what I am about to reveal will touch the exact place where your spirit has been fighting in silence. Do not scroll past this. Do not let distractions steal what heaven is placing directly in front of you. I brought you here on purpose, and if you stay, you will begin to understand why the pressure has been so heavy and why the release is so close. Remain here with me, because before this message is over, you will recognize the block, feel my hand on your heart, and know that your next season is already beginning. My child, I need you to slow down and hear me right now, because what you have been feeling is real. You were not imagining it. You were not overthinking it. You were not being dramatic. Deep in your spirit, you already knew something had been standing in the way, and that is why your heart has felt so unsettled lately. You have been trying to move forward, trying to stay strong, trying to keep your faith steady, but there has been this invisible resistance that keeps meeting you in places where you expected peace. You have called it bad timing. You have called it stress. You have called it another hard season. But I want you to understand something very clearly. There has been a block, and that block is not something you made up in your mind. You have felt it in your decisions, in your emotions, in your sleep, in the way your hope rises and then suddenly drops without warning. You have seen it in the doors that almost opened and then closed, in the relationships that became heavy, in the confusion that showed up right when you were ready to trust again. I have watched you carry that weight while still trying to smile, still trying to function, still trying to act like everything was normal. But it was not normal, and you knew it. I want you to stop for a moment and let this truth settle in your heart, because I am not speaking to shame you. I am speaking to wake you up before you spend another day thinking this is just how your life has to feel. It does not. You have been blocked, yes, but not abandoned. There is a difference, and you need to hear that from me before fear starts telling you the wrong story again. The block has been real, but it has not been final. It has not been proof that I left you. It has not been proof that your prayers stopped reaching me. It has not been proof that you are forgotten or that your future has been canceled. What it means is that something has been interfering with the flow of peace, clarity, and movement that I have been trying to bring into your life. Some of it has come from what wounded you. Some of it has come from what exhausted you. Some of it has come from what you kept carrying long after I asked you to place it in my hands. And some of it, yes, has come from the quiet pressure of darkness trying to keep you discouraged long enough that you stop expecting anything good from me. But I am telling you now, before another second slips away, do not make peace with what I never called permanent. Do not build your identity around a season that was only meant to expose what needs to be healed. What you are feeling is real, and because it is real, I am addressing it now. I am stepping into this moment because I will not let you keep calling this confusion normal when I am already preparing your way out. My child, I need you to let this settle deep in your heart before fear speaks over it again. I am not the one holding you back. I am not standing in front of your future with folded arms, waiting for you to fail. I am not the voice that keeps telling you that you are late, unworthy, too damaged, or too far gone. You have felt the weight of delay so long that part of you started believing I must be the reason for it. You looked at the closed doors, the long silence, the prayers that seemed to hang in the air, and you quietly wondered if I had turned away from you. But I have not. I want you to stop right now and release that lie. Let it go. Breathe and hear me clearly. I have been near you in every confused moment, in every heavy morning, in every night when you stared into the dark and tried to make sense of what kept slipping through your hands. I was there when you almost convinced yourself that this was punishment. I was there when you called yourself the problem. I was there when you smiled for others and then sat alone with that ache you could not explain. I did not step away from you. I stayed close enough to hear what you never said out loud. What has been blocking you is not my love. It is not my heart toward you. It is not my desire to bless you, lead you, restore you, and bring you into peace. Sometimes what you called delay was actually my protection, because I could see what you could not. I saw the people who would have drained you, the opportunities that would have looked shiny but carried poison underneath, the doors that seemed perfect but would have led you somewhere you were not meant to stay. And yes, I also saw the places inside you that were hurting more than you admitted. I saw the exhaustion you kept dressing up as strength. I saw the fear you called caution. I saw the grief you buried under busyness. I saw the old wound still whispering into your decisions. I did not close my hand because I wanted less for you. I slowed things down because I wanted better for you. So do not accuse my love of being the source of what was meant to save you. Come closer instead. Ask me again. Invite me in deeper. Stop wrestling with the wrong conclusion. I am not your obstacle. I am your shelter. I am not the reason your soul feels starved. I am the one calling you back to the table. Trust me enough to stop blaming my silence and start letting me show you what has truly been in the way. Stay here with me. Listen closely. Let me untangle what your pain has twisted, because once you see clearly, you will stop fearing me and start following me with peace. My child, now that you know I am not the one standing in your way, I need you to be brave enough to look at what has been. Do not turn away from this part. Stay with me. Let me speak to the place in you that has been trying to survive by avoiding the truth. The real block in your life has not always been outside of you. Much of it has been hidden in what you refuse to name. You have tried to move forward while carrying resentment that still burns under the surface. You have tried to pray with a heart that was still bruised by betrayal and guarded by fear. You have tried to trust me while quietly clinging to control, just in case I did not move fast enough for your comfort. You have called it wisdom, but sometimes it was fear in a wiser outfit. You have called it being careful, but at times it was simply your pain making decisions for you. I say this to you with tenderness, not accusation. I am not exposing you to wound you. I am exposing what is hidden so I can heal what is hidden. Let me do that. Stop protecting the very thing that keeps draining your peace. You know there have been moments when I nudged your heart, and you felt it. You knew that conversation was unhealthy. You knew that attachment was keeping you anxious. You knew that a habit was numbing you instead of helping you. You knew that pride was making it harder to apologize, harder to surrender, harder to admit you were tired. You knew that secret sadness was shaping how you saw yourself. You knew that some part of you had started expecting disappointment before joy even had a chance to arrive. And because you did not fully name it, you could not fully release it. That is why I brought you here. I'm asking you now, stop running from the diagnosis. Bring it into the light. Tell me the truth about what you have been carrying. Tell me where you are angry. Tell me where you are afraid. Tell me where you are still pretending. Tell me what you keep feeding even though it keeps starving your spirit. I can work with honesty. I can heal what you uncover. But you must stop calling the wound by softer names just to avoid facing it. This is the moment to be real with me. Open your heart. Put your hand on the part of your life that feels stuck and ask me, Lord, what have I been refusing to name? Then listen. Do not defend it. Do not decorate it. Do not delay it. The block begins to weaken the moment you stop hiding it from me. I already know what it is. I am waiting for you to let me touch it. My child, I want you to understand why I interrupted you in this exact moment. Because this was not random timing and it was not a casual pause in your day. I stopped you now because you were about to keep moving with the same weight, the same fog, the same quiet ache that has been following you. And I will not let you keep calling that survival when I am trying to bring you into freedom. You were not just scrolling. You were not simply passing through another ordinary minute. I brought you here because something in you was reaching a breaking point, even if you had not fully admitted it to yourself. You have been functioning, but your heart has been tired. You have been speaking, but your spirit has been strained. You have been carrying conversations in your head that no one else hears, and they have been wearing you down more than you realize. I saw the tension building in you. I saw how close you were to settling into numbness, to accepting confusion as your normal, to lowering your expectations just so disappointment would hurt less. So I stepped in. I placed this moment in front of you because your soul needed interruption more than your schedule needed speed. Stop and recognize that. Receive that. Let this moment become holy to you, because I did not arrive late. I arrived at the exact second your heart was ready to stop pretending it was fine. And I want you to hear something else very clearly. I did not stop you just to comfort you for a moment and then leave you the same. I stopped you because the block has lasted long enough and the silence around it has gone on too long. You have asked me for a sign. You have asked me to make it clear. You have asked me to show you what is really happening, because part of you knew there was more beneath the surface than what your eyes could explain. This is that moment. This is that answer. So lean in now. Do not brush past what you feel in your chest. Do not dismiss the pull you felt when these words found you. That inner pause, that sudden stillness, that sense that you needed to stay here for a little longer. That was me. I was not trying to entertain you. I was trying to reach you. I was cutting through the noise before the noise swallowed another day of your peace. Let me say it plainly. I stopped you now because I love you too much to let you drift any further while thinking you still have endless time to deal with what is blocking you. Come closer. Give me your attention, not out of fear but out of trust. Let this moment mark you. Let it become the turning point where you stopped rushing past your own healing and finally let me speak into the part of your life that has been crying out for clarity. I did not interrupt you just for your sake alone. I brought you here because there are others still wandering in the same fog you are coming out of. What you have received in this moment is not meant to stop with you. It is seed, and seed must be sown. As it is written, I give seed to the sower, and now I am placing something in your hand that can carry light into another soul's darkness. When you choose to support this message, through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link placed in the description, you are helping me reach hearts that are on the edge of breaking. This is not a transaction. This is an assignment. I am inviting you to become a vessel, to pour oil where others are running dry, to help this word travel further than your own voice can go. And hear me clearly, what you release in faith, I will multiply in ways you cannot measure. So do not scroll past this moment. Step into it and act now. My child, I need you to see this part with clear eyes, because if you do not understand the pattern, you may keep blaming yourself for battles that were designed to exhaust you. The enemy has been using delay like a slow leak in your spirit. Not always with obvious attacks, not always with dramatic chaos, but with subtle pressure that kept draining your confidence little by little. He knew that if he could not destroy you quickly, he would try to wear you down quietly. He would let disappointment repeat itself just enough that you start expecting less. He would let confusion circle long enough that you begin to question what I already told you. He would keep you in emotional traffic, inching forward but never feeling free, until you stopped calling it warfare and started calling it your personality. I need you to reject that right now. Do not accept that lie. Do not make a home inside a season that was sent to weaken your trust. The delay was not just about stopping your progress. It was about dulling your hunger, tiring your prayers, and making you feel so emotionally bruised that you no longer reached for what I placed in front of you. That is why you have felt moments where you were close to hope, and then suddenly heavy again. That is why some days felt like you were carrying a backpack full of bricks through water. You were moving, yes, but everything felt harder than it should have. Still, listen to me carefully, because I do not want you to become afraid of the battle. I want you to become aware of it. Awareness breaks agreement. Once you see what has been happening, you stop cooperating with it. The enemy wanted your delay to become your definition. He wanted your waiting to become your identity. He wanted your unanswered questions to become evidence that I was not listening. But I have been listening, and I have been guarding more than you know. Some of the pressure you felt was real, but it did not own you. Some of the discouragement was deep, but it did not rewrite your future. Some of the heaviness was spiritual, but it did not have the final word. So I am telling you now, stand up inside your heart. Shake off what has settled on your mind. Refuse to keep naming yourself by what tried to exhaust you. Come into agreement with me instead. Say to me in your own honest way, Lord, I see the weariness, but I will not let it decide who I am. Then stay with me. Let me strengthen the places that have been thinning under pressure. Let me refill what has been leaking. Let me teach you how to recognize the difference between a closed door and a targeted distraction. You are not weak because you felt worn down. You are still here, and that matters more than you know. Now let me show you how to fight without panic and how to move without carrying the enemy's story about your life. My child, before I ask you to go any further with me, I need you to stop and let this truth reach the part of you that still feels unseen. I saw every quiet breakdown. I saw the moments you hid behind a steady face while your heart was fraying underneath. I saw you answer people with calm words while your mind was crowded with fear, exhaustion, and questions you did not know how to explain. I saw you lie awake when the room was silent, and your thoughts became louder than the night itself. I saw you stare at the ceiling, replay conversations, carry regrets, and wonder why your spirit felt so heavy when everyone around you assumed you were doing fine. You did not need to announce your pain for me to notice it. You did not need to cry loudly for me to hear it. I felt the weight in you when you could barely name it yourself. I watched you push through days that felt like walking through wet cement. I watched you hold yourself together in public and then sit in private with that familiar ache, trying to understand why you felt so tired when you had already tried so hard. So hear me now, and do not argue with this. You were never invisible in your hardest moments. I was there. I was closer than your breath, even when my nearness felt hidden behind your exhaustion. And I want you to do something with the truth. Stop treating your pain like something I missed. Stop assuming silence meant absence. Invite me into those memories instead of sealing them off like a locked room at the end of a dark hallway. Bring me the night you almost gave up. Bring me the day you felt humiliated. Bring me the disappointment that made you go quiet. Bring me the version of you that kept saying, "I'm okay," while falling apart inside. I am not asking for the polished version of your story. I want the real one. I want the part you buried because you thought surviving meant staying strong all the time. It did not. Survival without surrender leaves wounds underneath the skin. That is why I am speaking to you this way now. I am not just reminding you that I saw you. I am asking you to let me touch what I saw. Do not rush past this. Sit here with me. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart soften. Let the tears come if they need to. They are not proof that you are weak. They are proof that something in you is finally safe enough to stop pretending. You kept moving, and I honor that. You kept breathing, and I was with you in every breath. But now I want more for you than endurance. I want healing. I want rest that reaches deeper than sleep. I want peace that settles into your bones. Let me give you that. Stop carrying your breakdowns like secret stones in your pockets. Hand them to me, one by one. I know each one already, and I am not turning away. My child, now listen to me with your whole heart, because this is where I need you to be honest and brave at the same time. You cannot enter the next season carrying the old weight. I am not saying that to pressure you. I am saying it because I love you enough to tell you the truth before you drag old chains into a new doorway. You have been asking me for movement, for change, for breakthrough, for relief, and I have heard every word. But I also see what is still attached to you. I see the grief you have made a home for because it became familiar. I see the guilt you revisit like an old room, even though I already offered you freedom from it. I see the memory of rejection still shaping how you expect people to treat you. I see the habits that comfort you in the moment but quietly empty your spirit afterward. I see the need to control outcomes because uncertainty once hurt you so deeply that now you try to manage every possibility before it can wound you again. My child, I understand why you build some of those patterns. I know what happened to you. I know what you survived. But understanding the wound is not the same as letting the wound lead. And I will not let what hurt you become the thing that defines where you go next. So I am asking you now, no, I am urging you, put it down. Do not carry into tomorrow what I am asking you to release today. Stop gripping what is familiar just because it hath been with you for a long time. Not everything that stayed with you was meant to stay in you. Some things were only part of a season, and you have been dragging them like heavy suitcases through every new room I tried to open. Imagine trying to run while holding wet blankets around your shoulders. That is what your soul has been doing. You kept wondering why progress felt slow, why peace felt slippery, why every step felt harder than it should. It is because some of what you are carrying was never meant to cross over with you. So come with me now. Open your hands. Tell me what you are afraid to lose. Tell me what you keep excusing. Tell me what you keep revisiting even though it keeps reopening the wound. Then release it. Do not negotiate with it. Do not decorate it with softer words. Give it to me. The next season I have for you is not built for the version of you that survives by bracing for pain. It is built for the version of you that trusts me enough to travel light. Let me lift what you were never meant to hold forever. Let me cut what you keep dragging behind you. I am not trying to take something precious from you. I am clearing the path so you can finally walk without limping under the weight of what should have ended long ago. My child, there is something deeper I need you to notice, because the block did not only slow your progress, it started speaking to your identity. Over time, what you experienced around you began to change what you believed about yourself within you. That is how these seasons become dangerous. At first, you only noticed the closed doors, the unanswered prayers, the delays that kept stretching longer than you expected. But after enough disappointment, something subtle began to happen inside your heart. You stopped saying, "This season is hard," and started quietly believing, "Maybe I am the problem." You began to wear the delay like a label. You started calling yourself late, unlucky, difficult to love, too complicated, too damaged, too much for people, not enough for purpose. You looked at the weight you were carrying and started treating it like your name. I need you to stop that right now. Do not let the season rename you. Do not let pain become your mirror. Come closer and let me show you what happened. The block was not content to frustrate you externally. It wanted to bend your self-image until you no longer recognized the person I created. That is why some of your hardest battles have not been around opportunity, but around worth. That is why you can still receive love and yet feel suspicious of it. That is why a compliment can reach your ears but not settle in your heart. That is why you hesitate before stepping toward what you prayed for, because some part of you expects it to disappear. You have been looking at yourself through cracked glass, and then wondering why the reflection feels distorted. So I am asking you now, look away from the cracked glass and look at me. Stop introducing yourself to your future through the language of your wounds. Stop calling yourself by the names fear handed you in the dark. You are not the rejection you survived. You are not the door that closed. You are not the betrayal that bruised you. You are not the mistake that still haunts your memory. You are not the season that felt like winter even when everyone else seemed to be blooming. Those things touched your story, but they are not your identity. I want you to sit with that. Let it challenge you. Let it unsettle the lie you got used to hearing. If you have been calling yourself forgotten, stop and correct it. If you have been calling yourself too broken, stop and correct it. If you have been shrinking your expectations because you secretly believe nothing good lasts for you, bring that thought to me and let me deal with it. I will not heal your path while leaving your self-image poisoned. I want your mind back. I want your inner voice back. I want your reflection to stop sounding like the people who hurt you and start sounding like me. So open your heart and ask me plainly, Lord, where have I agreed with a false version of myself? Then listen. Let me answer. Let me pull those labels off you like old, heavy clothes. You have worn them long enough. I did not create you to live disguised as your pain. Now that I have begun to restore how you see yourself, understand this. There are many who still see themselves through shattered glass, just as you once did. I am calling you to help me reach them, to become part of the healing I am pouring out in this hour. Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and your giving becomes a seed that lifts another soul out of silent battles. When you give through Super Thanks, join as a member, or use the PayPal link in the description. You are helping rewrite the identity of someone who has almost given up. This is your moment to partner with me, to turn restoration into a river that flows beyond your own life. Do not underestimate what I can do with what you place in my hands. I breathe on it, and it becomes provision, breakthrough, and light. I see your heart, and I will bless the generosity that reflects mine. So move with intention, sow now, and let your seed speak where your voice cannot. My child, I need to speak to you plainly here, because love that never tells the truth leaves people trapped. Some of what has kept you stuck is not a mystery anymore. It only feels mysterious because you have kept feeding the very thing that is draining you. I say this with tenderness, but I need you to hear it with honesty. You cannot keep asking me for peace while entertaining the habits, thoughts, attachments, and patterns that quietly rob you of it. You cannot keep praying for clarity while returning to the voices that keep confusing you. You cannot keep asking for open doors while holding on to what keeps you spiritually bent over and emotionally exhausted. At some point, what you call confusion becomes a cycle you are cooperating with. That does not mean you are evil. It means you are human, tired, and sometimes too familiar with the wrong things. But now that I am bringing light into it, I do not want you to keep hiding behind phrases like "I don't know what's wrong" when part of you already knows exactly what keeps stealing your strength. You know what drains you after you touch it. You know what makes your spirit feel heavy after you revisit it. You know what relationship leaves you anxious, what habit leaves you empty, what memory you keep rehearsing until it poisons the day, what fear you keep obeying even when I have already told you not to. Do not call that mystery anymore. Call it what it is, and then bring it to me. This is where your freedom starts to get very practical. Stop romanticizing what is ruining your peace. Stop making excuses for what keeps bruising your spirit. Stop petting the snake and then asking why you feel poisoned. I am not trying to embarrass you with it, truth. I am trying to wake you up before another week, another month, another year gets swallowed by a cycle that could have ended the moment you chose honesty over avoidance. So do this now. Take inventory. Ask yourself what you keep returning to after I already warned you about it. Ask yourself what you defend too quickly whenever conviction rises. Ask yourself what you are afraid to release because it has become familiar, even though it is not healthy. Then do not negotiate with it. Bring it into the light. Hand it over. Delete what needs to be deleted. Step back from what needs distance and what needs ending. Confess what needs naming. I will meet you there, but I will not help you build a shelter around the thing that keeps blocking you. I love you too much for that. The good news is this: once you stop feeding what weakens you, your spirit will start breathing again. Once you stop protecting what keeps wounding you, your clarity will begin to return. Once you stop calling the cycle a mystery, you will finally see the exit I have been placing in front of you all along. Walk toward it now. I am already standing there. My child, I want you to come closer now, because this part is not for the crowd. This is between you and me. I am not asking you for a polished prayer, a perfect promise, or some grand display of faith. I am asking you for the one thing you keep hiding. You know exactly what I mean, even if you have spent a long time avoiding the words for it. It is the part of your life you quickly move past when you talk to me. It is the place where your voice gets quieter, where your thoughts become defensive, where your heart changes the subject because the truth feels too sharp to hold. It may be a wound you still touch in secret because pain became familiar. It may be resentment that has settled into your chest and disguised itself as protection. It may be shame that keeps telling you if I really saw everything, I would pull away. It may be a relationship you already know is draining your peace. It may be the version of yourself you keep trying to preserve because you think control is safer than surrender. I need you to stop now and let me into that room. Do not clean it first. Do not soften it with safer language. Do not call it just a phase if it is actually a chain. Bring it to me exactly as it is. I already know where it lives, and I have been waiting for you to stop standing guard at the door. Listen carefully, because this is where many of my children delay their own healing. You keep offering me the visible things while protecting the hidden thing. You ask me to bless the surface while the root remains buried underneath. But I am not interested in pretending with you. I want the real you, because the real you is the one I can restore. So open your hands now. Name what you keep circling around. If it is fear, say fear. If it is anger, say anger. If it is jealousy, say jealousy. If it is a secret habit, stop dressing it up and call it what it is. If it is grief, stop apologizing for it and let me hold it. I am not asking this because I want to shame you. I am asking because hidden things grow in darkness, and what stays hidden keeps stealing life from you. Bring it into my light. Invite me into the place you have been afraid to expose. Say to me, Lord, this is the part I did not want to hand over, but I am tired of carrying it. Then stay there. Let the silence breathe. Let the truth land. Let your heart shake if it needs to. This is not where you lose yourself. This is where you stop losing yourself in secret. Give me the one thing you keep hiding, and watch what happens when what was hidden no longer has power over you. I am not turning away from you. I am reaching in. Let me have it now. My child, I need you to understand something that will change the way you come to me from this moment forward. The block does not begin to break when everything around you suddenly becomes perfect. It begins to break the moment you stop pretending with me. That is the turning point. Not when the circumstances shift first, not when every door opens at once, not when your emotions finally settle enough to make you feel spiritual. The real movement starts when you stop managing your image in my presence and start telling me the truth. I have watched you try to sound strong when you were exhausted. I have watched you pray around the issue instead of through it. I have watched you say all the right words while the real burden stayed buried underneath, like a stone at the bottom of a river that keeps shaping the current even when no one can see it. But I do see it. I always have. And I am telling you now, you do not need a better performance. You need honesty. You do not need a more impressive version of faith. You need a surrendered one. Come to me tired. Come to me confused. Come to me angry if you need to. Come to me ashamed, trembling, uncertain, and none. Just come to me real. The block weakens the moment the mask falls off. I want you to stop thinking honesty makes you fragile in the wrong way. Honesty makes you reachable. It opens the door. It turns the key. It lets me touch what has been sealed off behind spiritual politeness and emotional survival. When you tell me the truth, even if your voice shakes, you stop partnering with the illusion that you can carry this alone. That is why some of your deepest shifts will happen in quiet moments no one else ever sees. A whispered confession, a tired prayer, a sentence spoken through tears, a simple admission like, "Lord, I am not okay," or "Lord, I do not know how to let this go," or "Lord, I am afraid of what happens if I really trust you here." Those moments matter more than you know. That is where the chains start loosening. That is where clarity starts returning. That is where peace begins to slip back into places that felt locked. So I am inviting you now. No, I am calling you now. Stop performing. Drop the script. Sit with me without the armor. Speak to me without the filter. Let your prayer become a doorway instead of a disguise. I am not measuring your worth by how composed you sound. I am responding to the heart that finally stops hiding. You have spent long enough trying to hold yourself together. Let go. Tell me the truth. Stay there with me. That is where the block begins to crack, and once it cracks, the light will find its way in. My child, I know there are doors you still think about. I know there are endings that still sting when they cross your mind. I know there are losses you tried to accept on the surface, but deep down you still wonder why I allowed them to close, why I let them slip, why I did not stop the goodbye, the silence, the collapse, the delay. So I want you to sit with me here and let me tell you something that may shift the way you remember your own story. Not every closed door was rejection. Some of those doors closed because I refused to let certain things follow you into the next chapter. I saw what you could not see. I saw what looked like an answer but carried confusion underneath. I saw what felt familiar but would have slowly hollowed you out. I saw the opportunity that glittered on the outside but would have chained you to pressure, compromise, and exhaustion. I saw the relationship you begged me to preserve, even while it was quietly teaching you to doubt yourself. I saw the room you wanted to stay in long after the air had already become too thin for your soul. And because I love you, I shut what you would have kept forcing open. I know that hurt. I know it bruised your trust. But I need you to hear me now. Some things did not leave because you were unworthy. Some things left because I was guarding what belongs to your future. Do not keep grieving every closure as if it was a punishment. Some endings were rescue in rough clothing. Some losses are mercy with tears on its face. You wanted me to explain it in the moment, but sometimes if I had shown you everything at once, your heart would not have been ready to receive it. So I let time teach what pain first introduced. I let distance reveal what attachment had hidden. I let silence uncover what your emotions kept defending. And now, looking back, I want you to invite me into those memories and let me reframe them. Stop calling every delay a denial. Stop calling every loss a curse. Stop assuming that because it hurt, it must have been wrong. There are times when I close a door because what is behind it cannot carry your calling, cannot protect your peace, cannot survive the weight of where I am leading you. So open your heart now and ask me, Lord, what were you saving me from when that door closed? Then listen with humility. Let me show you. Let me heal the part of you that still thinks every closed chapter means failure. It does not. Some doors had to shut because they were never built for the person you are becoming. You do not need to force your way back into rooms I have already emptied. Step away from those handles. Stop shaking doors I already sealed. Walk with me instead. I am not withholding life from you. I am refusing to let what would poison you walk beside you into the place I prepared. As you release what I have closed, I am opening something greater, not just for you, but through you. There are doors I am opening for others that require your obedience in this moment, your willingness to give so that this word continues to reach them. Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, and I am declaring that over every seed you release today. When you support this mission through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are helping me keep doors open for those who are still searching for truth. This is not loss. It is alignment with my purpose. What you thought was leaving your hand is actually entering your future as provision and favor. I am inviting you into a divine exchange where your faith unlocks impact far beyond what you can see. Do not hesitate. Step forward and give now. My child, I know you want change that you can see. I know you want the visible answer, the open door, the restored relationship, the financial shift, the breakthrough that makes sense to your eyes and gives your heart something tangible to hold. I understand that. I am not offended by your desire for relief. But I need you to hear me with maturity now, because if I only changed your outer life while your inner world stayed wounded, the very thing you prayed for could become another burden instead of a blessing. That is why I have been slowing certain things down. That is why I have been working in places no one else can see. Before I expand your life, I am healing your heart. Before I increase what is around you, I am restoring what is within you. If your mind is still full of fear, even a good opportunity will feel dangerous. If your soul is still exhausted, even answered prayer can feel heavy in your hands. If your identity is still shaped by rejection, you may sabotage the very love you asked me to bring. If your spirit is disconnected, even abundance can feel empty. I am not interested in giving you something that looks good on the outside while your inner life stays cracked underneath. I love you too much to decorate what I came to restore. So let me do the deeper work. Stop rushing me toward visible outcomes while ignoring what is still unsettled inside you. Invite me into your thoughts. Invite me into your reactions. Invite me into the places where fear still makes decisions before faith even has a chance to speak. Invite me into the parts of your soul that brace for disappointment before joy arrives. I want to rebuild from the inside out. I want to steady your mind, soften your heart, and quiet the panic that has been masquerading as preparation. I want to teach you how to receive without suspicion, how to rest without guilt, how to trust without needing every detail first. That is not weakness. That is wholeness. And that is why I have not rushed what you thought should have happened already. I have been tending the roots before I allow the branches to stretch. A tree can look beautiful for a moment, but if the roots are weak, the first strong wind will expose everything. I'm building you for more than a moment. I am building you for stability. So stop measuring my faithfulness only by what has appeared around you. Look at what is shifting within you. Look at the places where your heart is softer than it used to be. Look at the moments when you pause instead of panic. Look at the times you come to me faster instead of running from me. That is growth. That is healing. That is preparation. Stay with me in this process. Do not despise the hidden work. The quieter seasons are often the holiest, because that is where I make you ready for what you once could not carry. My child, I need you to hear me with fresh ears right now, because this is where many hearts stay trapped long after the season itself should have ended. You started calling delay your identity. Somewhere along the road, what happened to you became what you believed about you. The waiting was real. The disappointment was real. The silence felt real enough to sit on your chest like a stone. But the mistake was letting that season become the name you answered to. You stopped saying, "I am in a delayed season," and quietly began living as though, "I am the delayed one." You started introducing yourself to opportunities through caution, to people through fear, to your future through hesitation. You began expecting things to stall before they even started. You began shrinking your hope so that heartbreak would feel smaller if it came again. I understand why you did that. I know the bruises behind it. I know how many times you stood at a door and watched it close. I know how many times you gave your energy, your prayer, your trust, and then had to walk away empty-handed. But listen to me carefully now. The season may have touched you, but it does not define you. Delay is not your identity. Rejection is not your identity. Stuck is not your identity. Surviving is not your identity. Those are conditions you walked through, not names I ever gave you. So stop wearing the old label like it belongs to you. Akov. Do not keep dressing your spirit in words that came from pain instead of truth. When you say, "Nothing ever works for me," stop and correct it. When you say, "I am always behind," stop and correct it. When you assume joy will leave before it even arrives, stop and correct it. I am not asking you to deny your history. I am asking you to stop letting your history prophesy over your future. There is a difference. You can remember what happened without bowing to it. You can honor what hurt without becoming loyal to it. I want you to practice this now. Put your hand over your heart and tell me, in your own words, "Lord, I will not call myself by the name of my delay anymore." Say it because your soul needs to hear you break agreement with the lie. The enemy loved it when you wore that label. It made you easier to discourage, easier to isolate, easier to keep cautious around the very things I was trying to place in your hands. But that agreement ends here. I am teaching you to see yourself again, not through the fog of what took too long, but through the truth of who I say you are. Stand up inside your spirit. Lift your head. Stop introducing yourself as the person who always gets overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are not permanently behind. You are not trapped in the season that tested you. You are still becoming, and I am not late with you. My child, now I want to bring you to the edge of something hopeful, because after all this uncovering, all this truth, all this confronting of what has been blocking you, I do not want you to leave this moment feeling only exposed. I want you to feel invited. I want you to understand that something begins to open the moment you release control. That is not a poetic idea. That is a spiritual reality. You have been holding tightly to outcomes because somewhere in your story, uncertainty became painful enough that control started to feel like safety. You began gripping details, rehearsing scenarios, preparing for every possible disappointment, trying to think 5 steps ahead so nothing could catch you off guard again. I know why you learned that. I know what taught you to brace. But I need you to see what it has been doing to your soul. Control may have made you feel protected for a moment, but it also kept your heart tense, your thoughts crowded, your prayers strained, and your peace fragile. You have been trying to carry tomorrow before it even arrives. You have been gripping the steering wheel so hard that your hands are tired, your chest is tight, and your spirit has forgotten what it feels like to rest in me. That is why I'm saying this so plainly now. Loosen your grip. Breathe. Release what you cannot hold without harming yourself. Give me the outcome you keep trying to manage. Hand me the timeline you keep worshiping. Put the relationship, the answer, the future, the dream, the fear of disappointment, all of it, into my hands. Do it now, not later. Because when you release control, something in you finally becomes available for peace. The door that opens first may not even be around you. It often opens within you. Your mind becomes quieter. Your heart stops sprinting. Your spirit starts breathing again. Then clarity returns. Then discernment sharpens. Then obedience feels simpler because panic is no longer shouting over my voice. And yes, many times when you surrender control, things around you begin to shift too. Not because you manipulated the outcome, but because you stopped choking the process with fear. A clenched fist cannot receive what an open hand can hold. That is the picture I want you to carry. You have been living with clenched hands for too long. Open them now. Tell me, Lord, I release what I cannot control, and I trust you with what I cannot see. Let those words become more than comfort. Let them become surrender. Then stay with me in the quiet that follows. Do not rush to grab it back. Do not surrender for a moment and then panic again by the next hour. Return to this place each time fear tries to tighten its grip. I am not asking you to become careless. I am asking you to become yielded. There is a difference. When you release control, you are not becoming passive. You are becoming teachable, guided, and finally free enough to follow me without demanding that I explain every turn before you take the next step. My child, now that I have brought you this far, I do not want you to leave this moment inspired, but unchanged. I want you to understand something very important. Breakthrough often begins with one step, not a giant leap. I know you have been waiting for the whole picture, the full map, the clear explanation, the comfort of knowing exactly how everything will unfold before you move. But that is not how I usually lead you. I lead you by the next step. I speak into the next decision. I place the next act of obedience in front of you, and I watch whether you trust me enough to take it. So listen carefully now, because there is one step I need you to take, and part of you already knows what it is. It may be a conversation you have been avoiding because honesty feels risky. It may be an apology your pride keeps postponing. It may be a boundary you know you need to set. It may be the contact you need to delete, the habit you need to stop feeding, the room you need to walk out of, the lie you need to stop rehearsing, the prayer you need to pray instead of spiraling through your thoughts again. It may be rest, real rest, not numbing, not escape, but holy rest because your striving has become a burden. I am not asking you to solve everything tonight. I am asking you to obey me in one clear place. That one step matters more than you realize. Do not wait until you feel perfectly ready. Do not keep negotiating with the thing I already made clear. You have been standing at the edge of action, while your mind keeps trying to turn obedience into a debate. And the debate. Choose the step. Take it. If you are unsure, come to me with humility and ask, Lord, what is the next right thing you are asking from me? Then stay still long enough to hear. My guidance is often quieter than your fear, but it is steadier. When you sense the step, do not dilute it. Do not delay it because it feels uncomfortable. Obedience often feels small in the moment, but it carries weight in the spirit. One honest conversation can break a chain. One surrendered decision can shut a door the enemy has been using for years. One act of trust can clear the fog that has followed you for months. Think of it like this. A locked gate may look impossible until the right key turns once. That single turn changes everything. I am placing that key in your hand right now. Use it. Stop waiting for 10 confirmations when I have already spoken enough for the next move. I will meet you in the step. I will steady you in the discomfort. I will give you strength while you do what you thought you could not do. But you must move. Not frantically. Not fearfully. Just faithfully. Take the next step with me. I am already standing on the other side of your obedience, ready to meet you there. You asked me for the next step, and for some of you, this is it. Not the only step, but a significant one, a moment where obedience becomes action beyond thought. When you choose to support this word through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are stepping into partnership with what I am doing across many lives. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed, and I will honor every act of faith that flows from your hand. This is how chains break not only in you, but in those you may never meet. Your giving becomes a key, turning locks in places your feet have never walked. I am watching what you do with what I have placed before you, and I am ready to meet you in your obedience. Do not overthink what I have made simple. This is your moment to act. Take the step now. My child, I want you to go back for a moment. Not far, just back to the first few seconds when this message found you. Before your mind started analyzing. Before you started wondering whether this was coincidence, timing, emotion, or just another passing moment. There was something in you that paused. You felt it. It may have been subtle, but it was real. A pull in your spirit. A stillness in the middle of noise. A strange hesitation that made you stop instead of moving on. Maybe your chest tightened for a moment. Maybe your thoughts suddenly quieted. Maybe something inside you whispered, "Stay here. Listen." That was me. I need you to know that, because you have spent too much time doubting the ways I reach for you. You keep expecting thunder, yet sometimes I come like a hand on your shoulder in a crowded room. You keep looking for something dramatic, but often I arrive in the small shift that makes your soul pay attention. I was there in those first seconds, and I am still here now. Do not dismiss what your spirit recognized before your mind tried to explain it away. Your heart knew something was different before your logic had a chance to argue with it. I want you to trust that more. I want you to begin honoring the quiet ways I speak instead of constantly demanding louder signs. I am not limited to grand moments. I can interrupt your scrolling. I can reach you in a sentence. I can stop you with a holy pause. I can make one line feel heavier than 1,000 voices around you. At first, the inner nudge mattered because it was not random. It was an invitation. It was me cutting through the static and saying, "Slow down. This is for you." So the next time you feel that same pull, do not brush it aside so quickly. When your spirit stirs, pay attention. When something in you becomes still, lean in. When a moment carries weight you cannot explain, stop and ask, "Lord, is that you?" I am teaching you to recognize me again. I am retraining your heart to notice my nearness in places you once ignored. And I want you to understand this too. The fact that you stayed is not small. The fact that you kept listening matters. The fact that you did not scroll past this moment tells me your heart is not as numb as you feared. There is still tenderness in you. There is still hunger in you. There is still a part of you that knows my voice, even through the noise. So do not insult that holy recognition by calling it luck. Perceive it for what it is. I was with you in the first seconds, and I am with you now. Stay open. Stay near. Let this become the beginning of a deeper sensitivity to my presence, because the more you notice me in the small moments, the harder it becomes for darkness to convince you that I have been silent. My child, as I begin to show you what freedom looks like, I need you to understand my heart correctly, because if you misunderstand this part, you may still chase the wrong kind of breakthrough. I am not removing the block just to make your life easier in the shallow ways you once imagined. I am not doing this simply so you can feel temporarily relieved, briefly excited, or outwardly successful while the deeper parts of you remain tangled. I am not here to spoil you with surface blessings that leave your soul unchanged. I am here to free you. That is different, and it matters more than you realize. Freedom is not just getting what you wanted. Freedom is no longer being ruled by what used to own you. Freedom is when fear stops deciding how you respond. Freedom is when your peace does not collapse the moment something feels uncertain. Freedom is when you can receive love without bracing for loss, walk through open doors without sabotaging them, and hear my voice without every wound from your past interrupting the conversation. That is the kind of work I am doing in you. So do not reduce this moment to a wish list. Do not make this only about a door opening, a person returning, a bank account shifting, or circumstances changing in a way that feels easier. Those things may come in their proper time, but what I want for you is deeper, cleaner, steadier, and far more lasting than a quick answer that leaves the chain in place. Come closer and let me finish where I started. Do not rush me toward outcomes while resisting the freedom I am trying to plant in your spirit. Let me remove the block in a way that actually changes you. Let me teach you how to live lighter. Let me clear the clutter in your mind, the static in your emotions, the old agreements in your heart that keep making you expect pain before peace. Let me restore your trust. Let me strengthen your discernment. Let me untangle the places where anxiety learned how to sound like wisdom. I want you free enough to recognize what is healthy, free enough to say no without guilt, free enough to stop begging for what I already remove it, free enough to walk into what is next without dragging the old season behind you like a chain tied to your ankle. This is why I have been so intentional with you. This is why I have been speaking this directly. I am not just clearing your path. I am clearing your inner life so when the next door opens, you do not step into it as the same wounded version of yourself who kept repeating old patterns. I want what opens next to feel different because you are different. So tell me now, in your own quiet honesty, Lord, do not just change my circumstances, free me. Say it and mean it. Then stay with me. Let that prayer sink below the surface. What I am doing is not temporary comfort. It is deep release. And when I free you, not just favor you, what comes next will not only look better, it will finally feel safe in your soul. My child, you have heard me speak through all of this, and now I need you to understand that this is not only a moment of revelation, it is a moment of agreement. I have shown you what has been blocking you. I have exposed what you kept avoiding. I have reminded you that I was never the one working against you. I have called you out of false labels, out of old cycles, out of the exhausting habit of carrying what I never asked you to keep carrying. But now you must respond. Not with noise, not with performance, not with some dramatic promise you do not intend to live. I'm asking for something quieter and stronger than that. I'm asking for your agreement. This is the threshold. This is the inner yes. This is the place where you stop arguing with what I already made clear and choose to come into alignment with me. Do not overcomplicate it. Do not wait until you feel some overwhelming emotion before you answer. Agreement is not always loud. Sometimes it is a simple surrender spoken in a trembling voice. Sometimes it is a quiet decision in the middle of the night. Sometimes it is one honest sentence that changes the direction of your life because it opens the door for me to move where resistance used to live. So I want you to do something now. Stay still for a moment. Breathe slowly. Put your hand over your heart if that helps you focus, and say to me, in your own real words, something like this: Lord, show me what has been blocking me, and I will not hide from it anymore. Lord, I agree with your truth more than I agree with my fear. Lord, I release what has been holding me back, and I choose to walk with you. Do not rush past that. Let it become real. Let those words land in the places where you usually stay guarded. Agreement matters because what you agree with shapes what you live under. If you agree with fear, fear will keep directing your steps. If you agree with shame, shame will keep shrinking your world. If you agree with a lie that nothing will change, you will keep approaching life as if every good thing is already doomed. But if you agree with me, if you agree that the block is not your identity, that the wound does not own you, that the closed doors were not the end, that honesty opens healing, that surrender creates movement, then everything begins to shift. Not all at once, perhaps, but deeply and truly. So choose now. Do not drift out of this moment. Do not nod along and then return to the same internal argument tomorrow. Seal this in your spirit. Say yes to the truth I have been placing in front of you. I am not forcing you. I am inviting you. But this invitation is holy, and this agreement is powerful. Step into it now. I am already meeting you on the other side of your yes. My child, stay with me for this final moment, because I want to bring everything I have spoken into one clear, living truth that you can carry with you the moment this message ends. Before the next 11 seconds pass, I need you to make a choice. Not a loud choice. Not a dramatic one. A real one. I need you to choose peace over panic. I need you to stop handing your imagination over to fear every time something feels uncertain. I need you to stop calling the block permanent just because it has lasted longer than you expected. I need you to stop reading delay as doom, silence as abandonment, and resistance as proof that nothing good is still coming. Listen to me carefully now. What has been blocked is not beyond my reach. What has felt tangled is not beyond my wisdom. What has seemed delayed is not beyond my timing. But you must stop panicking long enough to hear me clearly. Panic makes you grab at what I told you to release. Panic makes you rehearse the worst before truth has a chance to speak. Panic turns a moment of waiting into a prison cell. That is why I am asking you, right here, right now, before the next few seconds disappear into habit, breathe. Slow down. Unclench your thoughts. Open your hands. Bring your attention back to me. Let this be the moment where you stop reacting to fear like it has authority over your life. And now I want you to act on what I have said. Do not leave this as another emotional moment you felt but never entered. Choose peace on purpose. Choose it before your circumstances fully change. Choose it before every answer arrives. Choose it while the questions still linger, because that is where trust becomes real. Say to me now, Lord, I will not let panic name this season anymore. I choose your peace even here. Let that become your decision before the next 11 seconds pass. Not because 11 seconds is magic, but because I am teaching you that breakthrough often begins in a moment smaller than you expected. A life can shift in a second when the heart finally agrees with truth. A cycle can crack in one honest surrender. A heavy season can begin to loosen when you stop feeding it with fear. So do not wait until later. Do not promise yourself you will think about this tomorrow. Choose now. Let peace enter before panic speaks again. Let my voice become louder than the old story. Let this be the moment you stop running from what needs healing, stop calling yourself by the name of what hurt you, and stop assuming the block is your ending. It is not. If you give me what has been in the way, I can move you into a season that feels cleaner, lighter, clearer, and deeply held by my hand. Stay close. Walk with me from here. The block is not your final chapter. This is the beginning of your release. You have chosen peace, and now I am calling you to move in that peace with purpose. Let this not end as a moment, but become a flow, like a river that carries life wherever it goes. When you give through super thanks, step into membership, or use the PayPal link in the description, you are extending this peace to someone who is still trapped in panic. Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days, and I will bring back to you what you release in faith. This is your opportunity to turn agreement into action, to let your trust produce fruit beyond your own life. I will cover what you give, multiply what you sow, and return it with favor that follows you. Do not delay what I am prompting in your spirit right now. Choose peace and act on it now. If this message found you at the exact moment your spirit needed it, do not stay silent. Comment "The block is broken" and make that your declaration before fear speaks again. I want you to mark this moment with your own faith and tell me, "I choose peace over panic." Do not scroll away like this was ordinary, because it was not. This was your turning point, and your words matter. Type it boldly, receive it personally, and let heaven witness your yes. The block is broken, and I will not carry it anymore. And now, my child, as you declare that the block is broken, do not immediately return to the noise that made you forget how heavy it had become. Stay with me for a little longer, and let your heart understand what you have just spoken. There are things you have been carrying for so long that you began to mistake them for part of who you are. You became accustomed to the resistance, the exhaustion, the constant feeling that something was holding you back. But I have brought you to this moment to help you see that you are not powerless against what has been weighing upon you. Take another breath. Release the need to fight everything at once. Let me meet you at the wall you have been facing, because I know exactly where it has stood, how long you have been standing before it, and why you have felt unable to move beyond it. My child, listen to me right now. Stop what you are doing, quiet your mind, and just listen. Look into these words and hear my voice speaking directly into your soul. I see the invisible wall you keep hitting. I know exactly how heavy that spiritual block feels on your shoulders today. You wake up feeling like you are running a marathon with heavy chains wrapped tightly around your ankles. You sit in your car before walking into work, taking a deep breath just to survive the pressure of the day. I see the unspoken tensions in your family filling the rooms of your house. I see that quiet, creeping fear of the future keeping you wide awake in the middle of the night. You feel overlooked. You feel entirely stuck. You feel like your desperate prayers are bouncing off a cold, concrete ceiling. You feel that knot in your stomach. That tight, twisted feeling of anxiety that never seems to leave. That isn't from me. Let us undo it together, right here, right now. Hear my voice today. My voice is the exact frequency that shatters this heavy stillness. When I speak, The atmosphere in your room must shift. I am speaking directly into the silent, stubborn struggles of your life. Let my words wash over you like a sudden, rushing river breaking through a dry, dusty dam. You did not stumble upon this message by accident. I orchestrated this exact moment just for you. I have moved heaven and earth to place this message in front of your eyes today. I brought you here to stop the endless spiral of your anxious thoughts. I am stepping into your timeline because I saw you shrieking back, thinking I had forgotten your name. I have never forgotten you. I know the deep desires of your heart, and I know the exact pain of your current season. Give me your full attention for these next 11 seconds. Count them gently in your mind. Pause now. Breathe in my presence. In just 11 seconds of total surrender, I can completely rewire your anxious mind. 11 seconds of true faith is all it takes for you to drop your heavy luggage of worry and let my deep peace crash into your chest. Do not look away. Do not turn back to the noisy distractions of the world. Stay right here with me. If you give me these few seconds, I will give you a clear, calm direction you have not felt in years. Trust that I am moving powerfully in your life right now, even when you feel completely frozen. You feel like a powerful engine trying to drive forward, with the emergency brake pulled as tight as it can go. You have immense potential. You have a beautiful calling, but something unseen is holding you back. I am reaching down to release that brake today. You cannot see the roots growing deep underground during the freezing winter, but that does not mean the tree is dead. Your roots are growing deep in this quiet waiting season. I am working tirelessly in the unseen background of your everyday life. Prepare your fragile heart for a sudden, sweeping breakthrough. Open your hands right now. Physically open your hands wherever you are sitting or standing. Let go of the illusion of control you are trying so hard to maintain. You are clutching onto your own plans so tightly that your spirit is exhausted. Release them to my capable hands. Take a deep, slow breath in. Feel my love wrapping around you like the warmth of the morning sun. Stand up on the inside and lift your weary head. I am about to crack the solid concrete you have been trapped in. A long silence is breaking. The heavy block is dissolving. I am stepping into your reality, and absolutely nothing can stand against my perfect will for your life. My beloved child, look closely at the walls standing in front of you today. Examine the heavy stones of this obstacle. You have been crying out, asking me why I am taking so long to answer your prayers. You feel as though your earnest prayers are bouncing right back off a cold, silent ceiling, dropping empty onto your bedroom floor. You sit there, exhausted, wondering if I am ignoring you. I am not ignoring you. Understand the vital difference between my divine protection and the enemy's cruel delay. Sometimes, what you call a painful delay is actually my protective hand shielding you from a disaster you cannot yet see. I have closed certain doors because I saw the hidden traps lying just behind them. I am keeping you waiting because the foundation of your character needs more time to settle before I can build a massive blessing on top of it. Search your own heart right now. Invite my searching light into the darkest, most hidden corners of your mind. Let us uncover the hidden fears acting as massive, heavy anchors holding your boat stuck at the shore. You say you want to move forward, but deep down, you are terrified of failing again. I see the invisible scars from your past wounds. I remember when that close friend walked away and betrayed your trust. I remember when you poured your heart into that job, only to be let go and overlooked. Those deep, unspoken hurts have created thick brick walls around your heart. You built those walls to protect yourself, but now those very same walls are blocking your blessing. You are guarding your heart so fiercely that you are keeping my miracles locked out. Let go of these old, heavy stones today. Drop the heavy luggage of your past mistakes and the mistakes others have made against you. You spend so many sleepless nights asking me why. Why did this happen? Why did they leave? Why is this taking so long? Stop asking why and start looking at who. Look at me. I am the God who holds your entire life together. I am the one who carefully collects every single tear you cry in secret. When you focus on the confusing why of your situation, you drown in a sea of endless doubt. When you focus on me, the who behind your ultimate victory, you rise above the stormy waves. Stand up and allow my blinding light to expose every shadow of doubt in your mind. Do not be afraid of what the light reveals. I am not showing you your fears to condemn you. I am showing them to you so we can finally destroy them together. The root of this obstruction is not always an outside force. Sometimes, the root is the quiet, whispering voice in your own head telling you that you are not good enough, not smart enough, or not holy enough to receive my best. Recognize that voice for the liar it is. Cut that root today. Pull it up completely from the soil of your soul. You are entirely forgiven. You are entirely loved. You are perfectly positioned for a breakthrough, but you must be willing to let the old wounds go. Listen to my command and move when I tell you to move. Break the exhausting cycle of endless hesitation and overthinking that keeps you trapped in the exact same spot year after year. You sit at your kitchen table, staring at a blank piece of paper, making endless lists of pros and cons. You lie in bed staring at the ceiling, calculating every possible thing that could go wrong. Stop trying to figure out the entire journey before you take a single step. Swift, decisive action aligns you perfectly with my divine timing. When you wait for perfect conditions, you miss the supernatural window I have opened for you. I am asking you to trust me enough to step forward into the dark, knowing I will place solid ground beneath your foot just in time. Step out of the safe, comfortable boat before the terrible storm even subsides. You are waiting for the wind to stop blowing and the waves to calm down before you obey my voice. But true faith is walking on the water while the thunder is still crashing around you. Look at the biblical stories of old. The waters of the Jordan River did not part until the priests actually stepped their physical feet into the rushing current. You want the river to part first, but I am waiting for you to step in. Your immediate yes acts as a physical key to lock doors in the spiritual realm. When I whisper a clear direction into your spirit, do not form a committee to discuss it. Do not call 5 different people to ask for their human opinion on a divine instruction. Just say yes. Shed the heavy luggage of procrastination right this very minute. Procrastination is not just a bad habit. It is a spirit of delay that steals your precious time and robs you of your divine destiny. You tell yourself you will start tomorrow. You tell yourself you will forgive them tomorrow. You tell yourself you will pursue that dream when you have more money, more time, or more confidence. I am telling you that tomorrow is a thief. I only exist in the now. The great I Am is calling you to take action today. Even the smallest step of obedience sends a massive shockwave through the spiritual realm. Embrace the beautiful, sudden moments I have prepared for you. I am a God of sudden breakthroughs. You can struggle with a heavy burden for 10 long years, and I can completely remove it in a fraction of a second. But those suddenly moments require a heart that is completely ready to move. Position yourself like a runner at the starting line, leaning forward, waiting for the sound of my voice. When I say go, run. Do not look back at your past mistakes. Do not look sideways at what other people are doing. Look straight ahead into my eyes and take the step I have placed right in front of you. Rise up and take back the authority that rightfully belongs to you. You are walking through your own life with your head bowed down, acting like a defeated victim. You let the daily pressures of life bully you, You let the fear of an empty bank account, the dread of a difficult conversation, and the stress of your workplace dictate your mood and steal your peace. Stop living like a servant when you are wearing the crown of a royal inheritance. I have given you direct power over the shadows that try to intimidate you. You carry my spirit inside your physical body. It is time to remind the enemy exactly who you belong to. Speak my word out loud like a heavy hammer smashing against a solid stone. When the world looks you in the face and says no, you must stand firm and declare the yes I have already spoken over your life. Do not just think about your faith, vocalize it. Use your physical voice to shift the atmosphere in your home. When panic tries to grip your chest in the middle of the day, do not just suffer in silence. Open your mouth and declare the name above all names. The name of Jesus is not just a word, it is a supreme weapon. It is a shield that instantly stops the fiery darts of anxiety aimed at your mind. Understand deeply that you are a powerful victor, not a helpless victim. A victim constantly complains about their circumstances and waits for someone else to rescue them. A victor recognizes the harsh reality of the battle but knows the final war is already won. You might be facing a massive mountain of debt, a frightening medical report, or a deeply fractured family relationship. I see these massive challenges, and I know they feel completely overwhelming to your human mind. But you must activate the power of the Holy Spirit living actively within you. You have the exact same power that raised Christ from the dead dwelling inside your ordinary, everyday life. Stop tolerating the things that are trying to destroy you. You have grown entirely too comfortable living with anxiety. You have accepted depression as your permanent roommate. I command you to serve an eviction notice to every spirit of fear, doubt, and heaviness living in your mind. Tell them they have to leave right now. You are the gatekeeper of your own soul. You decide what thoughts are allowed to stay and what thoughts must be cast out. Stand tall, square your shoulders, and speak to your overwhelming circumstances with the unshakable confidence of a child who knows their father owns the entire universe. Put down your distractions and bring your wandering mind back to me. Your mind is overflowing with a constant, deafening noise that is blocking out my gentle whisper. You are constantly scrolling through endless screens, feeding your soul a toxic diet of other people's highlight reels. You watch the news and fill your heart with global panic, and then you wonder why you cannot sleep peacefully at night. You are carrying the heavy weight of the entire world on your shoulders, but your shoulders were never designed to carry that load. I command you to turn off the noise. Silence the chaotic chatter of worldly distractions that drain your energy and leave you feeling hollow. Focus your weary gaze on the eternal rather than the temporary problems right in front of you. The frustrating argument you had this morning, the traffic jam that made you late, the appliance that suddenly broke, these are loud, demanding temporary things. They scream for your immediate attention. But I am inviting you into a quiet, secret place where those temporary things completely lose their power. Come away with me into the silence. You desperately need to find a quiet room. Shut the physical door and just sit still. You do not even need to speak. Just sit in the stillness and let my overwhelming peace wash the dirt of the day off your mind. Take every single anxious thought totally captive and make it completely obedient to me. When a thought of worthless panic enters your mind, do not offer it a comfortable chair and a cup of coffee. Do not entertain it. Interrogate it. Ask yourself, does this fearful thought align with what God has promised me? If it does not, you must throw it out immediately. You have the power to control your focus. Refuse to let your mind run wild like an unbroken horse. Put the reins of my truth on your thoughts and steer them violently back toward hope. Wrap the peace that surpasses all human understanding around your mind like a thick, impenetrable shield. This is not the fragile, temporary peace the world offers. a peace that depends on everything going perfectly right. My peace is an anchor in the middle of a violent hurricane. You could have a mountain of stressful emails waiting for you, a difficult conversation looming on your calendar, and still feel completely, totally calm inside. Refresh your exhausted perspective through my unshakable promises. Breathe out the heavy smog of the world's panic, and breathe in the crystal clear air of my eternal truth. Your mind is my temple. Keep it fiercely clean. My child, as the heavy block of mental clutter finally shatters in your own life, I invite you to become the very vessel I use to clear the path for millions of others. Look at the confused, chaotic souls wandering in the dark who desperately need to hear this exact frequency of my voice today. I am asking you, directly and personally, to partner with me in this holy mission to broadcast my eternal peace to a panicked world. When you sow a seed of faith today, you are pouring living water onto dry, desolate hearts that are suffocating behind massive walls of anxiety. I declare over you right now, give, and it will be poured back into your lap, a massive measure pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I will multiply your precious offering, wrap your household in impenetrable protection, and give you extreme clarity in your next financial steps. Do not wait for a more convenient season to move in total obedience. Give a super thanks, become a channel member, or use the PayPal link in the description right now to send this urgent breakthrough to the ends of the earth. My child, do not turn away from me now. We have only just begun to completely tear down these massive walls, and it deeply grieves my heart when you walk out of the room right before I hand you the master key. I am pouring my very soul into yours in this exact moment, fighting for your ultimate freedom. If you close this message, you are actively choosing the heavy, suffocating noise of your anxiety over the miraculous peace I am actively breathing into your chest. Stay with me. Listen closely, because the very next thing I am going to tell you is the exact answer you have been begging for in the dark. Hold your heavy shield up, my child, especially now when your arms feel the most exhausted. You are walking through a dense, confusing fog, and you cannot see the path even 2 steps ahead of you. You are incredibly tired. You feel the overwhelming urge to just drop your shield, sit down in the dirt, and give up. You look back at the old, familiar pain, and think it might be easier to just go back there than to keep fighting for this new breakthrough. Resist that lying urge with every single ounce of strength you have left in your body. The familiar past is a cruel prison. I am leading you to freedom, but the road out of Egypt is always a difficult walk through the desert. Realize that the heaviest, darkest block always appears right before the greatest miracle bursts forth. The resistance you are feeling right now is proof that you are moving in the right direction. The enemy does not waste powerful roadblocks on people who are going nowhere. The fact that all hell is breaking loose against you is the greatest evidence that heaven is about to open up over you. You are in the final, agonizing stretch of this long race. Your lungs are burning, your legs are shaking, but the finish line is literally just around the corner. Do not stop running now. Feed your starving soul with the solid bread of life, not the junk food of the world's temporary comforts. When you are discouraged, you try to numb the pain with mindless entertainment, endless snacking, or meaningless conversations. None of those things will strengthen your spirit for the final blow against this wall. You need deep, spiritual nourishment. You need to open my word and let the ancient stories of impossible victories fuel your tired blood. Remember how the massive walls of Jericho did not fall on the first day, the second day, or even the 6th day. They required relentless, exhausting endurance. Strengthen your inner spirit for the final, sudden collapse of this obstacle. Keep marching around your problem, even when you look foolish to everyone watching. Keep declaring my promises, even when your physical eyes see absolutely zero evidence of change. Faith is not seeing the path through the fog. Faith is blindly trusting the guide who is holding your hand in the dark. I am holding your hand so tightly. I will not let you stumble off the cliff. I am giving you the supernatural endurance required to see these massive stone walls crumble into absolute dust. Hold your ground, keep your eyes locked on mine, and prepare for the sound of the rubble falling. Listen to me closely, my child, because what I am about to tell you is the absolute key to your freedom. Look at the heavy chains wrapped tightly around your wrists right now. You think the enemy put those chains there. You think your difficult circumstances created those locks. But I must tell you the gentle, honest truth. You are holding the padlock closed with your own hands. You are holding on to a deep, bitter resentment, and it is entirely blocking the flow of my blessing in your life. I see the painful memories you replay in your mind every single day. I know exactly what they did to you. I know how they betrayed your absolute trust, how they walked away when you needed them the most, and how they lied to your face. The pain they caused you was incredibly real, and I sat beside you and wept with you in the dark when it happened. But holding onto that burning anger is not punishing them. It is only poisoning you. You must release the people who have built these invisible walls around you. You are carrying them on your back every single day. You take them to work with you, you bring them to the dinner table, and you even let them sleep in your bed, robbing you of your peaceful rest. You feel that sudden, tight squeeze in your chest the exact moment someone mentions their name. A tight feeling is the poison of bitterness working inside your veins. The terrible danger of holding on to this bitterness is that it leaves absolutely no room in your vessel for my fresh, living water. My overflowing grace simply cannot flow into a heart that is completely clogged with old, toxic resentment. You are begging me to open a new door for you, but your hands are too full of old, dead grievances to turn the new doorknob. Drop the heavy stones of anger right now. I command you to wash your exhausted spirit totally clean of these old grievances today. The ultimate unlocking of your stalled life requires the profound freedom that only comes from a heart of true mercy. Forgiveness does not mean that what they did to you was right or acceptable. Forgiveness simply means you are no longer willing to let their past actions control your present joy and your future destiny. Close your eyes for just a moment. Picture that person standing in front of you. Now, look at me standing right beside them. Hand them over to me. Let my pure, unconditional love completely dissolve the heavy, rusted chains of your painful past. Speak it out loud right now into the empty room. I forgive them, and I release them into your hands. Feel that sudden rush of fresh air filling your lungs. That is the exact feeling of the prison door finally swinging wide open. You are free. Now step out of that dark cell and let us move forward together. Pay very close attention to the words coming out of your mouth, my beloved one. Your tongue is a steering wheel, and you are actively driving your life directly into a ditch of despair with your own daily complaints. You wake up in the morning and immediately speak defeat over your day. You sit in traffic and complain about your frustrating job. You look at your bank account and declare that you will always be completely broke. You look in the mirror and criticize the beautiful body I carefully crafted with my own hands. Stop cursing the beautiful destiny I am trying so hard to build for you. The words you speak casually every single day have massive, life-giving power, or they carry heavy, destructive poison. You cannot speak absolute defeat over your life and then act surprised when you feel completely defeated. I invite you to completely align your tongue with the rock-solid truth of my living scripture. Stop talking endlessly about how big your impossible mountain is. Your mountain does not care about your tears, and it does not care about your complaints. Start speaking directly to the mountain and tell it exactly how big your God is. Open your mouth and boldly command that obstacle to move out of your way in my mighty name. I am calling you to permanently remove the word cannot from your daily vocabulary. When you say you cannot handle this, you are calling me a liar, because I have already promised that you can do absolutely all things through my strength which sustains you. You are agreeing with the enemy's lies instead of agreeing with my eternal promises. Stand up and start prophesying over the dry, dead bones in your life. You look at your broken marriage, your empty bank account, or your sick body, and you only see a valley of dead, hopeless bones. But I am asking you the same question I asked my prophet long ago. Can these dry bones live again? The answer is yes, but they need to hear you speak my life over them. Do not wait for your feelings to change before your words change. Your feelings are fragile and temporary. Make your firm declarations perfectly match my divine design. Speak absolute victory into the empty air before you see a single shred of physical evidence. Call forth the incredible things that are not yet visible as though they are already standing right in front of you. When you align your spoken words with my perfect will, you give my angels the exact instructions they need to bring your massive breakthrough into the physical world. Shake off the heavy, comfortable dust of the season that has already ended. You have been sitting in the exact same spot for entirely too long, my child. I see how you wake up, drag yourself through the exact same unfulfilling routine, and go to bed feeling completely empty and exhausted, having accomplished absolutely nothing of eternal value. You call it a comfort zone, but I call it a grave. You have become incredibly comfortable with your own misery. You are waiting for me to magically teleport you to the top of the mountain, but I am waiting for you to take the very first step out of the valley. There is a massive, critical difference between patiently waiting on my perfect timing and simply being paralyzingly stuck in your own fear. Recognize the gentle, persistent nudge I have been putting in your spirit for months now. You know exactly what I am talking about. It is that quiet, uncomfortable feeling that you are meant for so much more than this average, mundane existence. It is that sudden, brief flash of an old dream that wakes you up in the middle of the night. I am actively stirring the stagnant waters of your life right now. I am making you uncomfortable on purpose because I love you too much to let you die in this tiny, restrictive box. Embrace the sudden discomfort of your own spiritual growth. When a seed breaks open underground, it is a violent, uncomfortable process, but it is the absolute only way to push through the dark dirt and find the warm sunlight. I invite my holy fire to completely consume the heavy spirit of sloth and procrastination resting on your shoulders right now. You keep telling yourself you will start that new project, apply for that new job, or join that new community next week, next month, or next year. But next year never actually comes. The only moment you have is right now. Step out of your safe, familiar boat and walk forcefully into the vibrant newness of life I have already prepared for you. Change your stubborn routine tomorrow morning. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Read my words before you touch your phone. Take a different road to work. Break the physical pattern of your stagnation, and I will shatter the spiritual block holding you down. I am holding the door wide open for you, but you must use your own legs to walk through it. Quiet your anxious heart and let me explain the beautiful mystery of my perfect timing. You are completely exhausted from watching the calendar change while your deeply painful situation remains exactly the same. You see your friends getting promoted, buying new homes, getting married, and having children. You scroll through the colorful, perfect pictures of their lives, and a cold, heavy panic grips your chest. You secretly wonder if I have completely forgotten your address. You wonder if your time has permanently passed you by. Hear me clearly right now. My gentle wait is absolutely never my permanent no. You are panicking because you are strictly operating on the world's rushed, frantic calendar, but I am operating on the flawless clock of eternity. Understand the deep, magnificent beauty of a season that is perfectly ripened. If you forcefully pull a piece of fruit off the tree before it is completely ready, it will be bitter, hard, and entirely useless. If you try to force the door of your breakthrough open before I have finished arranging the room on the other side, you will step into a total disaster. You are constantly begging me to open certain doors, but I am keeping them tightly locked for your own absolute safety. You cannot see the hidden traps, the wrong people, or the unseen dangers waiting just behind the door you are banging on. Trust my sovereign clock over your own frantic calculations. I see the absolute end of your story from the very beginning. You are only looking at one tiny, confusing pixel, but I am painting a massive, glorious masterpiece. Find a deep, unshakable peace right now in completely surrendering your timeline to me. Hand me your planners, your deadlines, and your personal ultimatums. When you finally stop striving and forcing things to happen, a massive, crushing weight will lift off your tired chest. Celebrate the profound, hidden work I am doing in the dark soil of your life right now. The most powerful, permanent foundations are poured deep underground where absolutely nobody can see them. I am building a massive foundation of character, endurance, and deep faith inside you right now. When the exact right moment finally arrives, I will move so suddenly and so powerfully that it will make your head spin. I can completely restore 10 years of lost time in a single, magnificent day. Rest in my arms and know that your beautiful time is coming. As you finally surrender your frantic timeline to my perfect, sovereign clock, know that millions of my children are still agonizing in the cruel prison of delay, begging for this exact message of sudden breakthrough. I am calling you right this very second to be the supernatural spark that violently ends their agonizing wait. Partner with my heart today and help me carry this urgent revelation to the crushed and broken souls who are on the very verge of giving up. Every seed you sow into this ministry is a blazing torch cast into the thickest, darkest night of someone else's desperate waiting season. As it is written, he who supplies seed to the sower will massively multiply your store of seed and violently enlarge the harvest of your righteousness. I will violently shake the heavens over your finances, commanding an explosive, sudden harvest to meet you exactly where your block used to be. The time to strike the iron is right now while the fire of my conviction is hot. Click the Super Thanks button, join as a loyal member, or use the PayPal link in the description immediately to fund this massive rescue mission. Are you still listening to me, my beloved? Do not let the enemy quietly pull your precious attention away. It shatters my Father's heart to watch you bravely endure years of painful waiting, only to completely surrender mere seconds before your massive breakthrough. I am actively downloading the deep, eternal mysteries of your future into your spirit right now. If you leave me here, you are walking away from the exact blueprint of your long-awaited deliverance. Anchor your tired spirit to my steady voice and do not stop, because I am about to show you exactly how to permanently crush the enemy's final, desperate attack. Stand absolutely firm right now, my warrior, and do not flinch. You are suddenly facing an intense, furious wave of unexpected problems, and you feel like you are losing your mind. Just when you thought things were finally getting better, the car suddenly breaks down, an unexpected bill arrives in the mail, or a sudden, bitter argument erupts in your home. You are crying out, asking me why everything is falling apart right when you decided to trust me. Listen to me very carefully. This sudden chaos is not a sign that you are failing. This is the desperate, thrashing temper tantrum of a defeated enemy who knows his time is entirely up. Discern the frantic, last-minute tactics of the great deceiver. He always hits the hardest right before the absolute breakthrough. You must stay incredibly vigilant because you are standing inches away from the finish line. The enemy is trying to create a massive, terrifying storm of loud distractions to make you drop your shield and run away in total panic. He wants you to look at the dark, swirling clouds instead of looking at my face. Do not let him intimidate you with these empty, hollow shadows. Shadows look incredibly large and frightening, but they have absolutely zero physical substance. They cannot touch you. Cling fiercely to the heavy, impenetrable armor I have already provided for you. Tighten the thick belt of truth around your waist. Fasten the heavy breastplate of righteousness over your fragile heart. Pick up your heavy shield of faith and refuse to take even a single step backward. Listen closely. Do you hear that deep, rumbling sound shaking the ground beneath your feet? That is the mighty roar of the Lion of Judah standing directly over your difficult situation. I am stepping out in front of you right now, and the enemy is terrified of the authority you carry in my name. Refuse to be bullied by these temporary inconveniences. When the unexpected bill comes, laugh at it, because I am your ultimate provider. When the sudden fear tries to choke you in the night, speak my name out loud and watch the fear scatter like harmless cockroaches in the light. Your magnificent victory is already written permanently in the eternal heavens. The final bell has already rung, and the battle has already been decided. Stand your ground, look the storm right in the eye, and wait for the magnificent dawn to break. My child, I command you to open your mouth and praise me before these massive walls actually crumble. You are sitting there waiting for the breakthrough to happen before you are willing to say thank you. You want to see the money in your bank account. You want to see the signed contract, and you want to see the healed medical report before you lift your hands. But I am asking you to thank me right now, right in the completely messy middle of your current storm. You look at the daunting pile of overdue bills sitting on your kitchen table. You see the deep frustration in your family, and your heavy heart sinks to the floor. The absolute last thing you want to do right now is sing a song of praise. Your physical hands feel entirely too heavy to lift. The midnight hour of your soul is incredibly dark, and the hot tears are flowing uncontrollably down your tired face. But listen to me very carefully. Worship is not just a polite, quiet song you sing when everything in your life is going perfectly well. Worship is a massive, destructive weapon of spiritual war. I invite you to use your praise as a weapon of mass disruption against the enemy's camp. When you make the difficult choice to praise me in the absolute worst, most painful moments of your life, you completely confuse the dark plans of the adversary. The enemy fully expects you to break down in tears, complain about your terrible luck, and completely give up on your future. He expects you to angrily turn your back on me. But when you lift your tired, shaking hands instead, you send a terrifying, blinding shockwave through the unseen spiritual realm. You prove that your deep faith is not attached to your temporary circumstances. Your faith is permanently attached to my eternal character. Offer me a loud, radical song in the absolute middle of your darkest midnight. Do not wait for the morning sun to come up. Do not wait for your stubborn spouse to apologize to you. Do not wait for your difficult boss to finally recognize your hard work. Stand right up in the middle of your messy, broken living room and declare my ultimate goodness over your life. When you do this difficult thing, you cause an immediate, massive shift in the spiritual atmosphere of your entire home. You literally change the oxygen in the room you are standing in. The thick, suffocating, invisible cloud of deep depression simply has to pack its bags and leave when you start aggressively declaring my ancient promises. Lift your hands to me right now, even when they feel as heavy as solid lead. I see exactly how exhausted you are today. You feel like you are carrying heavy, iron weights on your fragile wrists. But I make you this firm promise. The exact moment you force those heavy hands into the air to totally surrender to me, I will step in and take that crushing weight completely off your shoulders. I will breathe fresh, warm life into your exhausted lungs. Understand that your fierce joy is your ultimate act of holy defiance. You are not simply faking a happy smile to pretend everything in your life is perfect. You are actively anchoring your deep joy in the absolute, unshakable certainty that I am already working behind the scenes to fix your impossible problem. Sacrificial praise costs you something very real. It costs you your human pride, it costs you your right to bitterly complain, and it costs you your comfortable misery. But the beautiful return on that difficult sacrifice is an overwhelming, rushing flood of my divine power into your daily life. Praise me today for the painfully closed doors because I used them to keep you incredibly safe. Praise me today for the agonizing delays because I used them to carefully prepare your character. Open your tired mouth right now and speak rushing life into your dead, dry situations. Your grateful, praising heart is the exact physical key that completely unlocks the massive, overflowing warehouse of my heavenly blessings. Listen to me and remember exactly who you are. You have allowed the harsh, unforgiving world to stick ugly, false labels all over your beautiful identity. You walk through your daily life wearing heavy labels that say failure, divorced, bankrupt, too old, or not educated enough. I command you to violently strip away every single one of those false labels right this very minute. I did not create you to be defined by your worst mistakes or by the cruel opinions of bitter people. I formed you in secret. I breathed my own life into your lungs, and I called you a masterpiece. You are walking around completely blind to the immense, radiant power that resides inside your own chest. Recall the deep, burning dreams I personally placed inside your soul when you were younger. You used to have a massive, uncontainable vision for your future. But life happened. The brutal daily grind of working a frustrating job just to pay endless bills has slowly choked the vibrant life out of your dreams. You put your incredible purpose in a dark, dusty box and shoved it under the bed, telling yourself you just need to survive the week. I am not calling you to merely survive your life. I am calling you to fiercely rule and reign in the exact territory I have given you. I am pulling that dusty box out from under the bed today. I am opening it up and blowing the heavy dust off those forgotten dreams. Remember deeply that you were uniquely created for such a specific, critical time as this. You are not an accident, and you did not miss your golden opportunity. You think you are too old to start a new business, write that book, or restore your broken family. But I am telling you that your age is exactly what gives you the deep wisdom required to carry this massive blessing. Your past failures were simply the difficult training ground for your ultimate victory. You have learned how to endure, and now you are fully prepared to lead. Align your ordinary, daily walk with your massive, eternal calling today. Stop wasting your precious, limited hours scrolling mindlessly on your phone, comparing your real, messy life to the fake, filtered highlights of strangers. I invite you to focus intensely on the specific assignment I have placed right in front of your feet. When you finally stop trying to be who the world expects you to be, and start fiercely being who I created you to be, a raging fire of passion will ignite inside your belly. You will wake up in the morning with a sudden, crystal clear focus. Walk boldly into the massive assignment I have prepared for you. Do not tiptoe carefully into your future. Kick the door open with absolute confidence. The heavy block that has kept you completely paralyzed is being permanently removed today. You are stepping into a vibrant season of extreme clarity and incredible momentum. I have strategically planted you in your specific neighborhood, in your specific workplace, and in your specific family for a massive, divine reason. You are my chosen vessel to bring deep healing, bright light, and absolute truth into those dark places. Take ownership of your beautiful calling today. Lift your head up, square your shoulders, and step forward into the magnificent destiny I wrote for you before the oceans were even formed. Bring your broken, bleeding heart to me right now, my precious child. I see the deep, jagged cracks of bitter disappointment running through your weary soul. You tried so incredibly hard to make that relationship work, and it completely fell apart anyway. You poured your absolute best effort, your time, and your money into that business idea, and it painfully failed. You prayed with every ounce of faith you had for that specific door to open, and I kept it firmly shut. You are carrying a massive, heavy burden of deferred hope, and it is making your physical heart incredibly sick. You wake up feeling a literal, heavy ache in the center of your chest. You are deeply afraid to ever hope for anything good again, because you absolutely cannot handle the crushing pain of another massive letdown. Let my gentle, healing hands mend the painful cracks of your past failures today. I am not angry at you for feeling completely heartbroken. I am the God who stays intimately close to the broken-hearted, and I rescue those whose spirits are completely crushed by the heavy weight of the world. Hand me the sharp, broken pieces of your shattered dreams. You look at those pieces and see nothing but a massive, embarrassing mess. But I am the master artist. I take the sharp, broken, ugly pieces of your life and carefully arrange them into a stunning, beautiful mosaic of total redemption. Receive the soothing balm of Gilead for your extreme emotional weariness right now. I am actively breathing fresh, warm, vibrant life back into your completely exhausted spirit. The deep disappointment you walked through was incredibly painful, but I promise you that it was not permanent. The bitter tears you cried in the dark, lonely hours of the night were not wasted. I have carefully collected every single one of those tears in my bottle. I waste absolutely nothing in your life, not your agonizing pain, not your lonely seasons, and not your crushing failures. I use every single bit of it as the fertile soil for your massive, upcoming breakthrough. Rise up from the gray, dusty ashes with completely renewed, undeniable strength. You thought the hot fire of your trial was going to completely destroy you. The enemy fully intended for that massive disappointment to be your permanent grave. But I am transforming your dark grave into a beautiful garden. I am completely restoring the vibrant hope that was tragically deferred. I am actively replacing your heavy spirit of deep despair with a beautiful garment of loud, joyful praise. I invite you to slowly open your heart to trust me just one more time. I know it is incredibly scary to hope again. I know your mind is fighting against it. But I am the faithful God who absolutely never breaks a covenant promise. The people in your life let you down because they are flawed, frail humans. But I am not a human who lies, and I am not a man who changes his mind. When I promise to restore you, I will do it with massive, overflowing abundance. Let my overwhelming, unconditional love wash away the bitter, stinging taste of your past disappointments. Breathe in my deep, healing peace today, and absolutely know that your brightest, most beautiful days are standing right in front of you. Listen to my voice and tune your spiritual ears to my specific frequency today. You are currently living in a loud, chaotic world that is constantly screaming for your immediate attention. Your mind is like an incredibly crowded, noisy room where 50 different people are shouting their opinions at you all at once. The news media screams fear into your mind. Your friends and family offer you well-meaning but flawed human advice. Your own deep insecurities whisper vicious lies into your ears. And amidst all this deafening, overwhelming noise, you are desperately trying to figure out exactly which path you should take. You feel completely paralyzed by indecision, terrified of making the wrong choice and ruining your life. I command you to stop listening to the loud, chaotic roar of your own ego and the screaming panic of the world. You desperately need sharp, accurate spiritual discernment right now. Ask me today for completely new eyes to clearly see the hidden path I have already cleared for you. I will give you a deep, internal knowing, a quiet, gentle whisper in your spirit that tells you exactly when to turn left and when to turn right. My voice will absolutely never drive you into a frantic, rushing panic. The enemy violently pushes you from behind with heavy guilt and loud fear, but I gently lead you from the front with deep peace and total clarity. Distinguish my steady, calming voice from the lying spirit of confusion. When you face a massive decision about your career, your finances, or your struggling relationships, you usually try to solve the problem using only your limited human logic. You write out endless lists, you stress over your budget, and you lose precious sleep trying to force a solution to happen. I am inviting you to stop striving and start asking for my divine, supernatural wisdom. I see the massive, complicated map of your entire life from high above, while you are only looking at the confusing dirt right in front of your feet. Embrace the profound wisdom to know exactly when you need to push forward and exactly when you need to sit down and rest. Sometimes, the most powerful, spiritual thing you can possibly do is take a deep breath, go to sleep, and let me fight the battle for you. The enemy sets dangerous, invisible traps using the spirit of complete confusion, hoping you will blindly stumble into a terrible mistake out of pure exhaustion. But when you actively walk in my sharp discernment, you will easily navigate the narrow, difficult gate with absolute, unshakable confidence. I invite you to bring every single confusing situation directly to me before you make a move. Do not send a frustrated text message, do not abruptly quit your job, and do not sign a massive financial contract until you have sat in complete silence with me. Let my profound peace act as the final umpire in your mind. If a massive opportunity looks absolutely perfect on paper but you feel it tight, uncomfortable knot of anxiety in your spirit, walk away immediately. That knot is my protective warning. Trust the quiet, steady pull of my Holy Spirit over the loud, demanding rush of the modern world. I will never let you walk off a cliff when your eyes are firmly locked on mine. Now that I have sharpened your spiritual eyes and tuned your ears to my exact frequency, look out at the terrifying sea of lost souls who are still stumbling blindly behind massive, invisible walls. I have chosen you, right in this precise moment, to be the very hands I use to tear the blinding veil off their terrified eyes. Step boldly into this divine appointment and link your arms with mine to fund the massive broadcasting of my living word. Your sacrificial giving is the golden oil that keeps this holy lamp burning, piercing directly through the demonic confusion of this modern age. As you miraculously refresh others today, I absolutely guarantee that you yourself will be supernaturally refreshed, and your own path will shine brilliantly like the noonday sun. I release an avalanche of unprecedented favor, supernatural wisdom, and bulletproof protection over every single dollar you faithfully entrust to this work. Do not let the enemy whisper hesitation into your newly cleared mind. Use the Super Thanks feature, become a Vital Channel member, or click the PayPal link in the description right now to propel this urgent truth across the globe. Stay right here with me, and do not let your exhausted mind drift away. It brings profound, heavy sorrow to my spirit when you unplug from my presence just as your deepest healing is finally taking root. I am actively operating on the most painful, hidden wounds of your soul right this very second. If you stop listening now, you are leaving this critical spiritual surgery completely unfinished, and you will carry that old pain straight back into your tomorrow. I am fiercely jealous for your absolute attention today because your permanent freedom is entirely on the line. Lean in closer, open your heart wider, and stay with me, because the heaviest chains are finally snapping. Focus completely on building your hidden foundation today, my child. You spend so much of your precious time and exhausting energy trying to fix the outside, visible circumstances of your life. You desperately want to fix your broken bank account. You want to fix your struggling body. And you want to fix your difficult relationships. But I am looking entirely at your inner spirit. I am looking at the quiet, unseen foundation beneath the visible house of your life. If your inner foundation is weak, cracked, and shallow, you will completely collapse when the massive weight of my upcoming blessing lands on you. I want to build a towering skyscraper of influence and blessing in your life. But we absolutely must dig deep. Strong roots first. Deepen your invisible roots in the rich, fertile soil of my eternal word every single day. The absolute necessity of a quiet, daily encounter with me cannot be ignored. You cannot survive on a diet of weak, superficial motivation and expect to defeat massive, ancient spiritual strongholds. You must actively nourish your starving spirit. I want the very first waking moments of your day. Before you reach blindly for your phone to scroll through the chaotic news or check your stressful emails, reach out for me. Give me the quiet, pure first fruits of your morning attention, and I will give you a profound, stabilizing peace that will carry you through the absolute hardest moments of your day. Build a solid, rock-hard foundation that cannot be shaken by the terrifying storms of this world. When the unexpected medical diagnosis comes, or when the massive financial crisis hits the economy, the people who built their lives on the fragile sand of worldly success will completely fall apart in total panic. But because you are actively strengthening your inner man, you will stand tall and completely unshaken. You will actually become a strong, secure hiding place for the terrified people around you. I invite you to embrace the powerful, ancient disciplines of fasting and dedicated prayer. Break the physical, addictive control that constant food, endless entertainment, and mindless social media have over your physical body. When you intentionally tell your flesh no, you violently increase the volume of my voice in your spirit. This deep, consistent lifestyle of private devotion creates an unbreakable, supernatural resilience inside your soul. You are becoming incredibly tough on the inside while remaining wonderfully soft and compassionate on the outside. Become a beautifully prepared vessel, entirely fit for my absolute greatest works on this earth. I am actively stretching your capacity right now. The intense, uncomfortable pressure you feel today is just the heavy weight of the gym equipment I am using to build your massive spiritual muscles. Do not complain about the heavy workout. Lean into the difficult resistance. I am meticulously crafting you into a powerful, dangerous weapon for my kingdom. When you finally learn to fully govern your own inner spirit, I will gladly give you massive, upward territory to govern in the physical world. Your inner strength is the exact key to your massive, outward breakthrough. My child, look closely at the people I have strategically placed in your daily life. You have been walking through this dark, heavy valley completely alone for entirely too long. You isolate yourself on purpose because you falsely believe that nobody else can possibly understand your deep pain. You sit in your parked car after a long day at your frustrating job, crying silent tears because the pressure feels too heavy to carry. You hide your financial fears from your family, pretending everything is perfectly fine when you are actually terrified of tomorrow. Stop hiding in the dark. I command you to completely break the toxic cycle of your stubborn isolation today. I did not create you to fight these massive spiritual battles by yourself. You are a vital, necessary part of my living body, and a single, disconnected limb simply cannot survive on its own. Reach out your hand today and grab hold of the divine connections I am bringing into your path. You feel incredibly weak right now because you are trying to be a one-person army. But the absolute truth is that collective, unified prayer has the explosive power to completely shatter generational blocks. When you finally find the courage to look a trusted friend in the eye and say, "I am struggling, please pray for me," you instantly cut the enemy's power in half. The enemy strictly operates in the dark shadows of secrecy and deep shame. When you drag your hidden struggles into the bright light of a trusting, covenant relationship, the heavy block of shame instantly dissolves. Embrace the beautiful, uncomfortable friction of iron sharpening iron. You need solid, honest people in your life who love you enough to tell you the absolute truth, even when it stings your pride. You need friends who will forcefully interrupt your anxious complaining and remind you of my eternal promises. I will send you people who have already walked through the exact same fire you are standing in right now. They carry the physical scars of their own battles, and their powerful testimony will be the exact medicine your exhausted soul needs. Do not push them away because of your own foolish pride. Open your tightly closed heart and let them help you carry this crushing load. Find deep, solid accountability in your daily walk with me. When you are deeply exhausted, it is incredibly easy to drop your spiritual shield and surrender to your depression. But when you are firmly linked arm in arm with other believers, they will physically hold your tired arms up when you can no longer lift them yourself. Think of the burning coals in a hot fire. If you take one glowing coal out of the fire and set it completely by itself on the cold ground, it will quickly turn gray and die. But when you keep those coals pushed tightly together, they create a massive, roaring fire that cannot be easily extinguished. I promise to surround you with the exact right people at the exact right time. I am actively moving behind the scenes of your life to connect you with divine mentors, loyal friends, and fierce prayer warriors. Your job is to simply open your mouth and invite them into your messy, real life. Stop pretending you have everything perfectly put together. Your authentic vulnerability is the exact key that will unlock these powerful covenant connections. Walk out of your lonely prison cell today, take the hand of a trusted brother or sister, and watch how quickly this stubborn wall finally falls. Keep walking forward, my precious one, even when the dirt beneath your feet feels dry and completely lifeless. You look around at your current situation, and you see nothing but a massive, empty desert. You see the frustrating tension in your home, the heavy pressure at your workplace, and the painful silence to your desperate prayers. You sit down in the dust and you tell me that this valley is a dead end. But I am telling you today that this deep, painful valley is not a graveyard. It is a powerful refining fire. Stop treating this difficult season as a cruel punishment from an angry God. I am not punishing you. I am meticulously preparing you. The intense heat of this trial is actively burning away your deep insecurities, your false pride, and your dangerous reliance on the temporary world. See this exact moment as the vital birthplace of your greatest testimony. You cannot truly know me as a fierce protector until you have actually faced a terrifying giant. You cannot know me as a miraculous provider until you have stared at an entirely empty bank account. The brutal lessons you are learning right now in the quiet dirt of this waiting season are absolutely critical for your future success. If I simply handed you the massive victory without teaching you how to fight in the valley, you would completely lose the blessing as soon as you received it. Embrace the difficult, daily grind of this testing phase. Lift your heavy eyes toward the top of the mountain today. Do not look down at the frustrating dirt, and absolutely do not look back at the past you just walked away from. Look straight ahead. I am actively leading you through this terrifying darkness. I am your literal pillar of cloud during the scorching heat of the day, and I am your blazing pillar of fire during the freezing, terrifying night. When you feel entirely lost and deeply confused about your future, stop rushing. Stand perfectly still and look for my guiding light. I will never ask you to take a step into the dark without providing enough light for your very next footprint. Trust fiercely in my protective rod and my comforting staff. The enemy is constantly whispering horrible lies into your ear, telling you that I have completely abandoned you in this dry wasteland. It tells you that your business will fail, your family will fracture, and your health will completely give out. I command you to shut down those vicious lies right now. I am walking right beside you in this dangerous valley. My rod is actively beating back the invisible wolves that are trying to attack your mind. My staff is gently pulling you back onto the safe path every single time you accidentally wander off. I will not let you die in this valley. I declare total life over your exhausted spirit right now. The pressure you feel in your chest is simply the heavy birth pangs of a massive, sudden miracle. You are so incredibly close to the absolute end of this test. Do not sit down and give up when the cool, refreshing water is just over the very next hill. Tighten your boots, wipe the tears from your tired eyes, and take one more determined step forward. You are surviving the valley, and you are about to absolutely conquer the mountain. Stand ready, my child, because the heavy traffic jam of your life is about to completely clear out. You have been waiting at a glaring red light for what feels like a painful eternity. You have done absolutely everything right. You have prayed, you have fasted, you have forgiven your enemies, and you have worked incredibly hard at your job. Yet, your circumstances have barely moved a single inch. You feel entirely overlooked by your boss, underappreciated by your family, and forgotten by me. But I am commanding you right now. Prepare your mind and your physical space for a sudden, radical shift. When I finally flip the switch and the light turns green, you must be completely awake, fully packed, and entirely ready to hit the gas pedal. Expect the absolute miraculous to interrupt your boring, ordinary routine today. You are waiting for the sky to physically part and a loud trumpet to sound, but my greatest sudden shifts usually happen in the most normal, mundane moments of your Tuesday afternoon. You will be sitting at your desk answering a frustrating email. You will be washing the dirty dishes at your kitchen sink, or you will be driving your normal route to the grocery store. And suddenly, the phone will ring. Suddenly, the impossible check will arrive in the mail. Suddenly, the hardened heart of your rebellious child will completely soften. Look closely at the speed at which I can completely restore your deeply broken life. You cry over the years you feel you have totally wasted. You mourn the toxic relationships that stole your youth, the bad financial decisions that ruined your credit, and the constant anxiety that robbed your peace. Stop crying over spilled time. I am the sovereign creator of time itself. I promise you right now that I will completely restore the years that the swarming locusts have eaten. I can accomplish more in a single, divine, sudden moment than you could possibly accomplish in 30 years of exhausting human striving. Recognize the immense, life-changing power of one single divine appointment. You think you need to meet 100 different important people to finally get your business off the ground or secure your future. But you only need to meet the one specific person I have already ordained for your exact path. I am orchestrating invisible conversations behind closed doors right now on your behalf. I am actively placing your name into the minds of people who have the exact resources you need to fulfill your calling. I command you to stop bracing yourself for the next terrible disaster. You have lived in a state of constant, terrifying survival mode for so long that you physically expect things to go wrong. When something good happens, you hold your breath, waiting for the other shoe to completely drop. Let your breath out right now. Relax your tight, stressed shoulders. The sudden shift that is coming is a permanent, solid blessing from my own hand, and it comes with absolutely no hidden sorrow attached to it. Keep your spiritual eyes wide open today. Do not blink, or you might miss the exact moment I turn your painful no into a glorious, resounding yes. Tear down the thick, heavy veil of human logic that is blocking your spiritual vision today. You come to me with your massive, heavy problems, but before you even finish praying, your own mind starts doing the terrifying math. You look at the exact dollar amount of your overwhelming debt. You look at your modest paycheck, and you immediately calculate that a miracle is logically impossible. You read the frightening medical report. You Google the terrifying statistics, and you decide that healing cannot possibly happen. I command you to stop limiting my infinite, supreme power with your tiny, limited human calculations. I am the God who completely bypasses human logic to accomplish the totally impossible. Ask me right this very minute for a fresh, rushing outpouring of pure faith. You have allowed the bitter disappointments of your painful past to turn you into a hardened cynic. You mistakenly think that expecting the absolute worst is a smart way to protect your fragile heart from getting hurt again. But your deep cynicism is not a protective shield. It is a toxic poison that is actively killing your divine destiny. I invite you to fiercely cast out the heavy spirit of skepticism that has wrapped itself tightly around your mind. Remember the staggering, magnificent miracles of old, and hold them up as the standard for your own life today. The exact same God who physically parted the raging waters of the Red Sea is standing right inside your living room today. The exact same God who fed 5,000 starving people with a tiny basket of normal bread is actively managing your empty bank account. I did not lose an ounce of my immense power over the last 2,000 years. I am exactly the same yesterday, today, and forever. If I did it for them, I will absolutely do it for you. I command you to embrace a radical, childlike trust in me right now. Have you ever watched a small child stand on the edge of a tall wall and jump recklessly into their father's waiting arms? The child does not ask the father for his resume. The child does not calculate the exact wind speed or the physics of gravity. The child simply leaps with total joy, absolutely knowing the Father will catch them. That is exactly how I need you to trust me today. Stop asking me for a detailed spreadsheet of how I am going to fix your complicated life. Just jump into my arms. Believe boldly in the totally impossible simply because I am your God. When the entire world looks at your broken situation and loudly declares that it is completely dead, I want you to smile and declare that it is only sleeping. The heavy veil of your stubborn unbelief is the only thing keeping the massive windows of heaven tightly closed over your life. Rip that veil in half today. Choose to blindly, fiercely believe my solid promises, even when your physical eyes cannot see a single shred of comforting evidence. When you finally align your raw faith with my absolute truth, you literally force the physical universe to bow down to my sovereign will. You have violently torn the veil of unbelief from your own mind, but countless broken hearts are still paralyzed by the lie that their massive block is entirely permanent. I am urgently inviting you to sow an impossible seed of raw, reckless faith to help me shatter their stubborn chains today. When you financially support the spreading of this fiery truth, you are literally purchasing the spiritual ammunition required to set the desperate captives completely free. Remember my ancient promise. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can command mountains to move, and absolutely nothing will be impossible for you. I will honor your fierce obedience by violently moving the immovable mountains blocking your own finances, your health, and your family's destiny. I pronounce a staggering, miraculous multiplication over your household that completely defies all human logic and worldly banking principles. Your bold action right now is the physical proof of your completely restored faith. Step forward in supreme authority and give a super thanks. Become a covenant member, or donate through the PayPal link in the description to unleash this massive miracle for others. My precious one, do not dare turn this off now. You are standing directly on the sacred, holy threshold of your massive miracle. It brings literal tears to my eyes when my children fight through a brutal, terrifying wilderness, only to turn their backs right at the very edge of the promised land. Do not break my heart by rejecting the magnificent climax of what we are building here together. You are only moments away from receiving the final, permanent seal of your total victory. Hold your ground, keep your eyes locked on mine, and listen to my voice until the very last word, because your complete and total restoration hangs entirely in the balance. Prepare your hands and your heart to properly manage the massive blessing I am about to release to you. You have spent years desperately begging me for a breakthrough, crying out for more money, a better job, a healed marriage, and a larger platform. I am bringing those things to you, but I must give you a stern, loving warning today. New territory requires a completely new level of deep responsibility. If I drop a massive financial blessing into your hands right now, and you still have the exact same undisciplined spending habits, the blessing will quickly become a terrible curse. If I give you the promotion you begged for, but you do not learn how to fiercely guard your peace, the new stress will completely crush your spirit. Remain incredibly humbled in your upcoming season of massive abundance. When the heavy stone walls finally crumble and you walk proudly into your brand new season of total victory, it is dangerously easy to forget how you got there. When your bank account is overflowing and your health is totally vibrant, do not let toxic pride infect your mind. Do not dare look back at the difficult valley and tell yourself that your own human brilliance and your own hard work saved you. I am the one who gave you the physical breath in your lungs to do the work. I am the one who opened the solid iron doors that you could never open yourself. Use your beautiful, hard-fought testimony to boldly light the dark path for others. This massive breakthrough is not just for your own comfortable enjoyment. I am rescuing you from your deep, dark pit so that you can throw a strong rope down to the terrified people who are still trapped at the bottom. When you finally experience my total healing and provision, I command you to open your mouth and tell your real, messy story. Do not hide the painful, ugly parts of your journey. Your deep scars are the exact proof of my ultimate healing power. Ensure that your fragile heart stays permanently anchored in me, not in the shiny gifts I give you. The greatest danger of a massive answered prayer is that you might fall deeply in love with the blessing and completely forget the blesser. When your life gets incredibly busy with your new success, do not stop waking up early to sit in silence with me. Do not stop reading my word. Do not stop praying with the exact same fierce desperation you had when you were totally broke and broken. I invite you to honor me with the very first fruits of your brand new victory. When the long-awaited check finally arrives, give back to me first with a joyful, generous heart. When the new business takes off, use it immediately to serve my people. Actively stewarding your breakthrough proves to me that you can be trusted with even greater, more massive miracles in the future. Stand tall today, manage your current small resources with absolute excellence, and watch how quickly I make you the ruler over a massive, overflowing empire of my grace. Listen to me closely now, my precious child, because securing your new freedom is just as vital as receiving it. You are about to step out of this dark, heavy prison, and the bright sunlight of my blessing is going to warm your tired face. But you must understand that the enemy does not simply give up and walk away forever when you win a single battle. You will wait for a moment of weakness, a moment of deep physical exhaustion, or a moment of careless pride to try and build a brand new wall across your path. I want to teach you how to permanently protect this beautiful breakthrough. I command you to stay firmly planted under the protective shadow of the Almighty. When you step out from under my protective covering to handle things your own way, you immediately expose your fragile mind to the vicious attacks of the world. Stay incredibly close to me. Maintain the thick, impenetrable hedges of protection around your life through your daily, relentless prayer. Prayer is not just a polite religious duty you perform on Sunday mornings. Prayer is the invisible, electric fence that keeps the spiritual wolves completely out of your home. When you wake up and quietly surrender your day to me, You are literally actively locking the doors and windows of your spirit against anxiety, depression, and sudden fear. I ask you to cultivate the deep, practical wisdom to avoid the familiar paths that lead straight back into your old, painful ruts. You know exactly what those old paths look like. It is the late-night scrolling that feeds your dangerous comparison. It is the toxic friendship that constantly drains your peace. It is the negative, complaining attitude you adopt when things get slightly difficult. Refuse to walk down those dead-end roads ever again. Keep your heavy, spiritual armor securely fastened on your body at absolutely all times. You do not take off your seatbelt just because you are driving through a nice, comfortable neighborhood. You keep it on because you know a sudden crash can happen at any moment. The exact same is true in the spiritual realm. Wear the solid belt of my absolute truth so you are not easily tripped by the enemy's slippery lies. Protect your fragile emotions with the heavy breastplate of my righteousness. Cultivate a heart of constant, fierce watchfulness. Pay close attention to the small, subtle shifts in your daily mood. The moment you feel that old, familiar knot of anxiety tightening in your stomach, do not ignore it. Stop what you are doing, call on my powerful name, and strike it down immediately with the heavy sword of my word. Abide tightly in the true vine to ensure a continuous, flowing river of my strength in your life. A branch cannot possibly produce sweet fruit if it disconnects itself from the main tree. When you get incredibly busy with your new success, your new relationships, or your new financial freedom, do not make the tragic mistake of cutting yourself off from the source of your blessing. Stay deeply rooted in my presence. Keep your daily conversation with me completely open and honest. When you intentionally choose to remain grafted to my heart, no future blockage will ever have the power to stop the magnificent, overflowing destiny I have planned for you. Bring your heavy, lingering grief to me today, my beautiful child. Even though you feel the massive walls finally coming down, I know you are still quietly mourning the painful things you lost while you were stuck behind them. I see the tears you cry for the precious time you feel was completely wasted. You grieve over the years the terrible sickness stole from your body. You mourn the massive financial opportunities that slipped right through your fingers while you were paralyzed by intense fear. You look at the deep, painful fractures in your family and wonder if the damage is entirely permanent. Hear my absolute promise to you right now. I am the God of total, complete, and miraculous restoration. I do not just sweep your broken pieces under the rug. I actively recreate them into something far better than you originally had. I promise to completely restore what the swarming locusts have eaten in your life. The enemy sent those devouring locusts to chew away at your joy, to eat away your hard-earned finances, and to strip your physical health down to the bare branches. He fully intended to leave your life a desolate, empty wasteland. But I have the supreme authority to permanently reverse the curse. I am actively preparing a massive double portion for your previous trouble. For every single tear of agony you cried in the dark, I am handing you a double measure of overwhelming joy in the light. For every single dollar the enemy wrongfully stole from your hands, I am opening up new, unexpected rivers of financial provision that will absolutely shock you. Watch closely how I turn your heavy, dark mourning into loud, joyful dancing. You have worn the heavy, scratchy garments of deep depression for so incredibly long that you forgot what it feels like to simply be happy. I am violently tearing those dark clothes off your shoulders today. I am wrapping you in a vibrant, colorful garment of extreme praise. The total wholeness that comes from my physical touch reaches down into the deepest, most hidden cellular level of your trauma. I am actively rewiring your exhausted nervous system. I am smoothing out the constant, terrifying spikes of your anxiety and replacing them with a steady, calm, unshakable rhythm of deep peace. Open your eyes and look at the massive, full picture of my glorious redemptive plan. When you were standing right in the middle of the confusing storm, all you could see was the terrifying lightning and the dark rain. You thought I was completely destroying you. But now, as the heavy clouds finally part, I want you to look back and see how I was actually washing your foundation completely clean. I used the absolute worst things the enemy threw at you as the exact building blocks for your greatest promotion. I am writing a beautiful, triumphant final chapter for your life. Step forward with total confidence today. Your long, painful history of defeat is permanently over, and a beautiful future filled with absolute hope, fierce joy, and endless peace is standing right at your front door. My beloved one, I command you to stop striving right now. Drop your heavy, exhausting tools, step away from the workbench of your life, and finally enter into my profound, holy rest. You are so incredibly tired. You have been fighting this massive spiritual battle for so long that your mind is constantly spinning, even when your body is lying perfectly still in your bed. You wake up at 3 in the morning with your heart racing, instantly calculating your problems, trying to figure out how to force a solution to happen. You have been completely swallowed by the toxic hustle of a world that tells you your worth is strictly tied to how much you can produce. Stop it. Cease from your own frantic, human labors and start trusting entirely in mine. I am inviting you into the true Sabbath of the soul right now, directly in the aftermath of this massive battle. The Sabbath is not just a specific day of the week, it is a deep, internal posture of total surrender. It is finding a quiet, unshakable stillness directly in the middle of the breakthrough. You do not have to frantically manage every single detail of this new blessing. You do not have to forcefully micromanage the people around you to make sure everything goes perfectly according to your plan. I am the one steering this massive ship. You can finally take your tight, white-knuckled hands off the steering wheel. Take a deep, slow breath right now. Feel the tight, painful tension leaving your jaw. Feel the heavy, crushing weight literally lifting off your exhausted shoulders. I want you to completely know, in the deepest core of your being, that I have already finished the heavy work for you. When my son hung on the brutal cross and loudly declared, "It is finished," he absolutely meant it. He meant that your massive debt was permanently paid. He meant that your ultimate victory was permanently secured. You are trying to win a violent war that ended 2,000 years ago. All I am asking you to do today is simply occupy the beautiful territory I have already violently conquered on your behalf. Come to me right now with the total, absolute confidence of a small child jumping into a loving father's strong arms. Think of the deep, quiet pause right before a massive storm breaks, or that single, grounding breath you take right before you step onto a stage. That is the exact stillness I am offering your mind today. You do not have to perform for me. You do not have to prove your worth to me. You do not have to be perfectly strong every single minute of the day. You are allowed to be incredibly weak, because my massive strength is made absolutely perfect in your human weakness. Sink deeply into the soft, comforting mattress of my unchanging, eternal love. Close your weary eyes, quiet your racing thoughts, and let me sing a gentle, steady song of absolute victory over your completely resting soul. My precious, victorious child, look straight up into the spiritual atmosphere above your head today. The heavy, dark ceiling of brass that has blocked your prayers for so many years has completely shattered into a million pieces. You are now standing directly under a wide-open heaven. I am placing the final, permanent seal of my divine approval directly upon your forehead. You do not need to constantly seek the flimsy, temporary validation of broken people anymore. You do not need to beg for a seat at their crowded, chaotic tables. I have prepared a massive, private banquet strictly for you, right in the presence of the very enemies who tried to destroy you. You are completely accepted. You are entirely chosen. You are my masterpiece. I make this loud, booming declaration over your life right this very second. You are permanently, totally free from this heavy spiritual block. The massive iron chains have been shattered. The thick prison doors have been kicked completely off their hinges, and the heavy burden of your past is permanently buried at the bottom of the deepest ocean. The enemy has absolutely no legal right to harass your mind, steal your finances, or touch your family ever again. You have survived the brutal fire. You have successfully walked through the terrifying valley, and you have finally reached the solid, high ground. Do not ever let anyone convince you to put those heavy, rusty chains back on your wrists. Walk forward today with the bright, blinding light of my face shining directly upon you. When you walk into your workplace, when you walk into your home, and when you walk into your future, you will literally carry a completely different atmosphere with you. People will look at you and notice a sudden, undeniable difference. They will see a deep, attractive peace that absolutely defies human logic. They will ask you how you can be so incredibly calm in such a chaotic world, and you will simply tell them about the massive mountain I just moved out of your way. I make you this absolute, unbreakable promise. I am walking with you until the very end of the age. I will never drop your hand. I will never turn my back on you. When you face brand new challenges in the future, you will absolutely not face them alone. You are fully equipped, you are heavily armored, and you are filled to the brim with my Holy Spirit. Go forth right now and completely shine as a blazing beacon of my unstoppable grace. Your path is totally clear, the dangerous roadblocks are completely gone, and the green light is shining brightly. Walk fiercely in my unshakable peace, completely conquer your beautiful destiny, and live in my overflowing joy forevermore. As you stand totally victorious beneath this roaring, wide-open heaven, I ask you to immediately look back and pull up the exhausted souls who are still trapped behind the very wall you just conquered. I am personally calling you to seal this massive, permanent breakthrough with a radical act of covenant generosity. By funding this vital ministry, you ensure that the sharp, two-edged sword of my word continues to ruthlessly cut through the heavy, spiritual blocks of millions around the world. As you honor me with the first fruits of your brand new freedom, I will completely open the floodgates of heaven and pour out a massive, overflowing blessing that your home cannot even contain. Your seed is the living manna that will actively rescue the starving and the hopeless from their deepest, darkest pits. I decree a permanent hedge of blazing fire around your incoming wealth, shielding your supernatural harvest from every single devourer. Do not close this divine encounter without leaving your physical mark of overwhelming gratitude. Click the super thanks, lock arms with me as a channel member, or use the PayPal link in the description immediately to spread this final victory to the ends of the earth. My beloved child, the heavy stone has been rolled away, and your season of sudden breakthrough begins the exact second you claim it. Do not let the enemy steal this moment of profound freedom. Seal your divine deliverance right now by taking a physical step of faith. Go into the comments below and boldly declare, "My block is broken, and my sudden miracle is here." As you type those victorious words, feel the final, rusty chains fall completely off your wrists and shatter onto the floor. Step fiercely into your wide-open future, because I have permanently removed the barrier, and absolutely nothing will ever hold you back again. Amen.